Sorry about that. First day at the office. Guys, welcome in. We're glad to have the principal back presiding over the evening's festivities. Now we are relegated to after party status. Sorry we're so late tonight. I do apologize. I know that makes it hard on some people who prefer to go a little earlier. But I was not able to get ready any sooner than this. I think I predicted it, ladies and gentlemen. Did anyone see the nails? Did anyone see the nails? Do I need to pull up the nails? I can do that. If you guys don't believe me, I can pull up the nails. They were as predicted. Yes, that's right. That's right. Actually, hold on. Let me find them. You guys don't believe me. I should have had this done before I started. Yes, I'll just let you guys trust me. They were maroon. Always sending signals. Always sending coded signals is the principle. Always sending coded signals. Guys, we've got a lot lined up for you tonight. I hope you are buckled in. We're going to go over some, use this video for the nails. I've got backup for nail footage. We're going to go over some of the evidence rundown, some of the cars that Tyler seemed to be tracked by in a lot of those videos. I know neither the prosecution nor the defense made a big deal out of it, but who were those people? And why were they stopped for inordinate periods of time? And do we now have an answer why we were not able to see the original footage? You remember we kept asking, you guys showed us the video of the guy running off the roof. Why didn't you just back it up like 5 seconds so we could see what you guys allege is the gunshot? Well, I think for two reasons. One reason is that they did not want us to notice there was no gunshot visible. I think it's plain and simple. But the second reason is there was a car in the parking lot doing something very unusual, and it seemed to be timed with the figure on the roof. We will look at that in depth today. Zach Costello pointed this out on his fine program today or yesterday. When was it? Whenever he pointed it out. It was today. And I want to rip it right out of his program and show it to you. It was phenomenal. It was great investigative work and something that had gotten past your humble host. This is why we crowdsource stuff. This is why we have a decentralized investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why. So we're going to take a look at that a little bit. We're going to dive into the Lance Twiggs testimony. Now that a few days have passed and we've had an opportunity to really digest it, really dig into it, see some of the other things, make some connections, do a little research. Now we have some firepower to bring to the analysis of Lance Twiggs' video testimony. We will go through it in detail. I have a video. I'm going to start here real quick. I know this is an unusual way to start the program, but this is a plea for help. This is a plea for help. I don't know where Charlie Kirk is going in this video. It appears to me to be a staircase that leads to the Hall of Flags. In all of the coverage of this, I had not heard that Charlie Kirk went into the Hall of Flags. You'll see Dan Flood slip on the stairs here, right? Down goes Dan. Down goes Flood. But they're walking up these stairs, and they're walking into what appears to me to be the Hall of Flags. I was not aware that Charlie Kirk had gone indoors during his trip to UVU. I thought he stayed outside the whole time. If he went indoors, I want to know what they did in there. They just used the can, or did they meet with somebody? How long were they in there? If anybody can fill me in on that, by all means, please, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. I think it could potentially become a relatively interesting development, because if we're talking about something taking place underneath Charlie's shirt, was anything affixed to Charlie in that building? Because we know it couldn't have been done outside. Did they say, hey, we're trying something new here, Charlie. We need you to wear this. Hey, trade this out. We need you to put this on instead. I'm just very curious what took place in there. I don't know how we would find out. I think unless you were in the room with him, you might not know. But if anybody has heard anything, anybody has any, not just speculation. I mean, if it's rooted in something, please let me know. If you're just guessing, I can sit here and guess all day. My guess is as good as yours. Your guess is as good as mine. It's not very valuable. And so we'll get to all that. We're going to get to all that and more. And yes, I know it's late. But I apologize. But because it's late, I will probably move a little swifter through the super chats towards the end of the night, because I don't want to be up till 1 or 2 in the morning. God's time. I don't want to be up too late. So just understand, if you send a super chat, I will read it, but I may not put it up and react to it on the screen, if depending on how long the show goes and how many come in and all that. So just bear with me, be patient. We will do our best to get to as many as humanly possible. But understand that I'm going to have to call it quits at some point, just for that. Now, your humble principal has asked for our help, and we are here to answer the bell. This is what happened on her program. Oops, I got to pull it up. This is what happened on her program this afternoon, and we will answer the bell here. First, I think you can see the maroon nails in this footage.
It is very important for us to establish.
Look at them. They're maroon. I'll be honest. I was hoping for a whole maroon outfit, but I will take maroon nails. Those are maroon. Those are maroon. Okay, back to the content. I apologize, Madam Principal. It won't happen again.
Because he is speaking about the canines, and I think I can, by the way, I can back channel because I talked about the canines on the show, and I can go back to that source. But if you have information related to when the canines were brought on to the scene, please email us, tips@CandaceOwens.com. That will allow us to get a timestamp in there because he says he's observing the canines going back and forth. And this could be exculpatory evidence. The Panguitch state.
So she wants to know when the canines came onto the scene. Well, lucky for her, she has access to a Daisy because I have a Daisy, and I'm going to give her the answer here in just a second because Daisy alerted me that she had this in her notes. So I'm going to show when the canines arrived on the scene. This is the piece of footage here that she found. The timestamp is 16:29 on this, but okay, I don't need that. This is 12:33 p.m. Mountain Time. It's a very short piece of audio, just a few seconds of audio here. 12:33 p.m. Mountain Time.
1J129. I've got all the county canine headed that way. Where do you need us?
So at 12:33 Mountain Time, you had all canines headed to the scene. Where do you need us? We now have confirmation with somebody from the Utah County government of when the canines arrived. So I will show you this email here. This is an email from a little public request. I will see if this answers your. This is Lance McDaniel. He's the dog guy. He loves being a dog guy, big into dogs. I'll see if this helps answer your questions. By state mandate, all police service dogs in Utah must be certified by post for each area they're trained in and must pass a recertification each year. Yada, yada, training. Dogs are trained in specific odors. So we don't have a dog do both narcotics and explosives. And that makes sense, right? If your dog hits on me, you need to know, am I a drug user or am I a bomb guy? I mean, that's a clear thing you got to know if you're going to have it hit on me. Bomb dogs are trained on firearms and ammunition. Patrol dogs are trained to locate evidence. The difference is guns have residue for bomb dogs, and there's human odor on guns and ammunition for evidence dogs. So in other words, if you have a firearm, the gun dog can smell it. They can also smell the ammunition. They're trained to smell the different powders and things like that. So that's in request to that. And now we have a video from 5 p.m. There's a video from 5 p.m. Let me make this large so we can all benefit from being able to see it. But this is precisely at 5 p.m. and we have a view of dogs on campus. I'll kill the volume just in case. I don't know what it played here. But these are the dogs looking around. Sniff, 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 sniff. Over here, Fido. Oh, sniff, 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 sniff. Nothing here, Sergeant. Okay. Now what about over here? Sniff, 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 sniff. Those were your dogs on campus at 5 p.m. And a tank. Just in case we need a tank, we got one. You never know. You never know if you're going to need a tank. So luckily, the Orem Police Department has a tank. I'm not sure how I feel about local police departments being so militarized, but that is what they have. So Utah County and Utah State dogs are pretty good dogs. They actually have not they've not gone without notice nationally. So I will show you some awards that have been won by these dogs. Oh, hold on. No thanks. Don't need to subscribe to your dog newsletter. Here is an award ceremony from the Canine Games or whatever, award winning show of laws and paw enforcement. This is from 2024. 32nd annual LVMPD Canine Trials. You'll notice right here, 4th place, Lance McDaniel and Canine Loki. Low key. That's low key a good dog. My kids would get that. You boomers may not understand. But that's low key a good dog. And I'm not knocking on you boomers for not understanding. I frankly wish I didn't understand that joke. Overall, we've got dog placement here. So we've got talented dogs, right? These are not garbage dogs. If there was a firearm in the area, you would think the dogs would have found it, because here are your rankings in the 33rd annual Las Vegas Canine Trials of 2025. First place, Canine Scout and Officer Tona with the Provo Police Department. Utah County Sheriff's Office checking in at P3 with Low Key checking in at 3P. Utah County Sheriff's Office also picks up P4, and the Provo Police Department with Canine Eddie picking up 5th place. If you name your dog Eddie, you're probably not very polite to your dog, but that's okay. That's okay. The dog shouldn't have human names. Your dog shouldn't be like named Fred. That's not a thing. And so we actually have some more picks from that day. Here is one pick of a particularly terrifying looking animal walking around on campus, led by a particularly terrifying looking individual, frankly, if we're being honest with ourselves. This is from that day, a canine out there doing his work. And if you need a yet more proof, and actually we could keep going. I have helicopter footage of these dogs. I've got all kinds of stuff. I can show you where they went. But here's another dog out there sniffling around. This dog does not look like the big, terrifying dog the other one was, but he's out there, man. He's got his nose to the grindstone. He's sniffing around. He's sniffing around. So those are your, that's your evidence that in the afternoon hours, beginning at 12:33, lasting until after 5 o'clock, there were police dogs all over the joint. Police dogs all over the joint. Now, I want to show you a little bit of what Zach Costello covered today, because it was interesting to me. I'm not going to show you his whole video here. I'm going to back up and show you this one in particular. This part right here was so compelling to me. You guys remember the footage that they all came out and said was in excellent 4K high definition. You could see the boogers in his nose. You could see the strawberry seeds in his teeth. You could see the hair growing out of his ears. Like, it was super. You not only could see him pull the trigger, but you could see the trigger action move, and you knew it was a 2-stage trigger. But I mean, it was just crazy how detailed they said it was. And then we looked at it, and Brandy and Billy were there. And they're like, I don't know if it's a cow. Is it a person? Could it be Bigfoot? A space alien? We're not really sure. We saw a blob. A very small blob at that. But when they initially showed us this footage, they did not show us the part where the alleged shot was to have taken place. They actually started it a few seconds later. And I thought that was a little strange, a little interesting. I couldn't figure out why, because if you have the footage and you think it shows a guy taking a shot, show me the footage. What are you waiting on? And I'm not going to play the video. You've all seen it 1,000 times. It's him running across the roof, Spider-Manning down the roof, and then running out into the grass. You guys have all seen it. We've all seen it. And we noticed that they zoomed kind of suspectly and all this stuff. Well, we now have the unedited footage. And when you see this unedited footage, you're going to see, I think, why it is that they kept us from looking at it. Here is the footage here. I'll play it on mute just because it doesn't really matter what they're saying, because that's not what we're watching at. You see up here on the right-hand side of this parking lot, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of cars starting at the top. Ignore rows 1 and 2 up here for now. Look at rows 3 and 4, and then go all the way to the right between these 2 rows. And you see this white SUV pulling in. You see that white SUV pulling in. Hold on. Why do I repeat myself? It's annoying. When you have a successful podcast, I will market myself after you. I will do exactly how you do it. In the meantime, settle down. This white SUV is pulling in. I want you to watch as it drives down the lane here. I want you to watch and see what it does. This is interesting to me. Very interesting. And then we're going to look at what type of SUV it is and then say, do we see this SUV anywhere else? But watch this for a second. Here comes the SUV turning in. Now, he turned in. Let me back it up just a hair. This SUV, I want to look at the timestamp here. This is 12:23 and 28 seconds. This SUV turns into the parking lot at 12:23 and 28 seconds. Does anybody know anything interesting about that timing? Actually, 12:23 and 23 seconds. This is almost to the second that the bang happened. Almost to the second that the bang happened. I'm going to speculate here in a minute, but I think it's fair to say where my speculation's going. Might this car have been involved? Was it part of the operation? Watch what the SUV does. So we're going to go here. 12:23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Bang. There's your bang. You've got the guy now standing up and running away. Notice the car has stopped, completely stopped. If you look at the top of the roof here, while the car is stopped, you see him making his way across the roof. Now he's on this little white triangle on the corner of the roof. Car is still stopped. Right here, the car is still stopped. He's now Spider-Manning off the roof. He's Spider-Manning off the roof. Car is now just barely going now that the guy has jumped off the roof. It's turning slowly around this corner right here. He's now running off and he's safe. See how this car is going slow and then it nails the gas. As soon as the car realizes this guy's walking off and going at a pretty brisk pace, this guy nails the gas. He turns here and he gets the heck out of Dodge. I'm going to play it again now that you know what you're looking for. I'm pointing this out for a particular reason. Let me go back to where he turns in the... Oh, I'm going too far. The timing is just too incredibly suspect. And now I'm going to speculate that this car was a pickup car in case he got injured coming off the roof. I'm going to speculate that, and I'm going to support that in a minute. This is a pickup car, in my opinion, in case that guy got hurt hurtling off the roof. He turns in almost to the second that the big bang happens. Almost to the second, maybe 5-8 seconds before. And then he stops until the guy runs all the way to the roof, which means, if I'm right, there had to be some kind of communication so this guy would have been told when he was dropping off the roof so he could start turning to go pick him up if he needed to. Watch it again. This blob up here that's supposedly up here in HD taking the shot is still lying down. The car comes to a complete stop right here. I'll tell you when the blob gets up and start running up there. Oh, he's running across the roof now. He's almost to the white triangle. Now he's entering the white triangle. The car is still stopped. The guy's climbing down, Spider-Manning off the roof. This is a 15, 18-foot roof. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You might break an ankle, sprain an ankle, tear up a knee, in which case you would be dead in the water if you didn't have a getaway car. Now the guy is running across the grass. This white truck can see he's safe, and watch the acceleration. Whoa! He's getting out of there. In case he needs to pick him up. He has to get to the end down there to see if he needs to pick him up. Nope, guy's going that way. All right, I'm out of here. I don't think I'm wrong about that. I don't think I'm wrong about that at all. In fact, have we seen that car before? That exact white SUV? Have we had an opportunity to see that before? Well, now that we've had brilliant Zach Costello pointing this out on the Zach Costello show, I want you to see this footage here. This is purportedly Tyler Robinson coming into campus. Look at that car. That's the same car. The black wheels, white four-door. It looks like the same car to me. It's even got the little white thing poking off the back here. And Tyler turns around and looks back at it. And then Tyler stands there, and then the car poof, disappears. Now, did they edit this because they didn't want us to see what that car did? Like, I thought maybe they edited it because they didn't want us to see him take a phone call. But is it possible that car did something else? Maybe stopped for a minute and they chatted? I don't know. But they edited the footage so that the vehicle just poof, disappeared. Watch the car again. Watch only the car. Poof. There it goes. It's just off the races there. Now you got another car coming up behind him. Tyler puts his phone back in his pocket. Now watch. Bends that knee. That right knee is the knee that's supposed to be limpy. He's got a gun down there and he can't bend it, right? Watch this again. He's not supposed to be able to use that knee. The right knee is the one that's supposed to be limpy. Watch. He forgets it's limpy. Oh, I remember now. I got a limp. I thought that was pretty funny. The Tylers all over campus was hilarious. And I'm convinced there were at least 2, maybe 3. I'm just going to refer to them as the Tylers from now on. They were all over the place. Tyler's all over the place. Now, there's another interaction with a car that I find particularly compelling. And I want to ask a question. Have we seen this car again? This is Tyler Robinson in the parking lot. This is Tyler Robinson in the parking lot. Zach Costello points out 2 cars, and then he stops and points out a 3rd car. Zach, I apologize that I'm not using your voice here. I promise he provides excellent commentary. Everybody should go watch him. But I'm not doing it because I want to talk over it. So Tyler, that's supposed to be Tyler Robinson there. That's what we're told that is Tyler Robinson's gray Challenger. He pulls up to this parking lot for some unknown reason. We have no idea what he's doing. Notice the arrow to this white SUV here. That is not the same white SUV we saw in the last 2 clips. That is a different SUV. This is a Lexus. I believe the other 2 were Toyotas. Same car, same ultimate car company, but different cars. So let's watch this now. You guys see this? This guy, there's a guy sitting in this white car here. He's about to get going. He does that little lean up everybody does right before they get ready to go. There he goes. He's leaning again, doing his little lean. Now he takes off. Now watch. Oh, he can't be with Tyler. He went the other way. He's nowhere near Tyler. He's oh, there he is. And he pulls up behind Tyler and they pull off together. Now, right before the car pulled up, I want you to pay attention to this gray SUV. It's kind of blurry in the very, very top up here on the right-hand side. This is a gray SUV. I believe, based on my expertise, that's some sort of GMC SUV. You watch it pull up and it kind of comes to it does come to a stop, and then it drives off. And when it comes to a stop and drives off, these 2 cars leave. I'll pull it one more time in this is actually in fast time. He's got the video sped up, but watch it. Up here on the top right, a gray SUV comes, stops. When it stops, these 2 cars leave. It's almost as if the white SUV, this Lexus that was up here in the front, was waiting to be told, I'm almost there, I'm almost there, I'm almost there. Okay, go ahead and circle around and get behind them. And then they all drove off together. So the question is, have we seen that gray SUV anywhere? Is that the first and only time we've seen the gray SUV? Have we ever run into that gray SUV before? In other words, is this part of the story? Well, let me show you one more clip here. Actually, I'm going to show you 2 more clips, I think. I've got the other one pulled up. I'm going to show you one more clip here of this potentially the same gray SUV on campus, because I do believe that SUV that pulled up looks just like this one that's pulling off of UVU's campus after the Big Bang. Thank you, Adam Bartholomew, for making sure you capture every single piece of evidence. That's what that gray SUV looked like that pulled up. And I recognized it because of the way the headlights sit, the way the grill was pictured on that blurry image. And so that looks a lot to me like the same SUV. And it's coming off of campus here. You can watch it and walk by it. You get close.
Up this?
Would have turned and looked directly into the driver's window, but he does not, alas. He does not. Oh, gosh, I put the wrong thing in there. Daisy, can you drop right here? I screwed up. Can you drop the Tyler limping down the street video right there? I mislabeled that up. Oh, no, it's right here. It's 2B. I got it. Okay. Don't worry about that. I just put it in the wrong spot. Let me show you if we see this gray SUV again. This is another podcaster. Let me give him credit. I don't know who it is. Crime Scene 2 Courtroom. Crime Scene 2 Courtroom. I don't know what that is, but this is old, man. I think he put this out like back in September. So you have Tyler here limping down the street. He's right here, limping down the street, almost to the corner. He gets to the corner and stops. This guy's playing with this stuff a lot. Let's see. I don't know what all he's doing. But he gets to the corner and stops, pulls out his phone. While he's at the corner stopping and pulling up his phone, notice our gray SUV is back. This is now the third time we've seen, I think, that same car. It pulls up, it pulls over out of the lane of travel. So the way these streets are structured is there's 2 lanes of travel in the middle, and then there's 2 parking lanes on either side of it. You can park on this main highway. That's the way, for whatever reason, that's how Utah does it, or at least Orem, Utah does it. You can drive down the 2 lanes. They're opposite lanes, double yellow lines down the middle. And then on the outside of those 2 lanes, there's a parking lane. Now you'll see this guy pulls over into the parking lane. I'll back it up a little bit again so no one can accuse me of making it look like he stopped when he didn't. He doesn't completely stop, but he almost does. He slows way down to just a couple of miles an hour. And you can see he has to turn left back into the travel lane. See him turning back into the travel lane to get around this parked car over here. So it's clear to me, in my opinion, that guy turned out of the lane of traffic, slowed down to talk to one of the Tylers, and then back out into the lane of travel, and then kept going on. I just don't see how you can see that any other way. Tyler's standing there at a dead stop. This guy pulls out of the lane of traffic near him, and I am 99.5% convinced that is the same SUV that was in the parking lot. You can see the front grill area here. The same SUV in the parking lot and the same SUV potentially on campus. In the parking lot, I'm pretty sure. And so the question becomes, if you believe that Tyler Robinson planned and executed Charlie Kirk, are you asking any of these questions? Like, who are these people? Who is in the white SUV that very obviously waited for him to jump off and make sure he was okay before speeding off? The whole thing would have been ruined if that guy breaks his ankle and can't move and he doesn't have a 30-06 in his hand. The whole game is up. I think that guy was plan B. I think plan A was dependent completely on Tyler Robinson alone. Plan B would be jump in this car, get out of town, and we'll blame it on 2 people working together. And we'll pin it on them, Tyler Robinson and someone else. And then they probably had a whole plan B set going. We don't know about it because we haven't seen it. We weren't looking for it. We haven't examined the evidence looking for it. But when I saw Zach Costello talking about these car passes and seeing these cars over and over, I thought, wait a minute, these are the same cars. Zach didn't show the guy walking down one of the Tylers limping down 800 North or 800 South. But when I saw that SUV pull up in the parking lot and he identified it, I thought that's the same SUV that pulled up next to him on 800 South. It looks like the same SUV. And I think it presents a major credibility problem to the people opposing us in our investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why. Because if the most compelling is the SUV that turns in the parking lot, stops at a dead stop, turns in the parking lot at the exact moment the alleged gunshot happens, stops, waits for the guy to jump off the roof, turns slowly to make sure he's okay, and then speeds out of the parking lot, getting away from the scene. That's to me the most compelling, that the Tylers weren't working alone. There's somebody else on the outside. And then you have the SUV that pulls up beside him, slows down out of the lane of travel, and then goes back out. That to me is the second most compelling. The third most compelling is what happened in that parking lot, where Tyler Robinson or one of the Tylers pulls up, stops his car, waits for like 2 solid minutes. And that white SUV does not get ready to turn, circle around, and get behind one of the Tylers until the gray SUV pulls up and stops. Then it's time to go. That's a level of coordination you can't approximate. That's not like set your swatches and we'll be back here at 1 o'clock. That's like, hey, I'm 20 seconds out. I'm 10 seconds out. Go ahead and go. That is very sophisticated operation. It's a very sophisticated operation. Think about the level of sophistication you would have to know precisely when the shot was going to take place. Not when it did take place, but when it was going to take place, because you have to drive on campus. And you have to turn into the parking lot and be prepared to be the getaway driver for Plan B. I'm just insanely curious. I wish they would have turned their cameras and we had better views inside those cars, because I want to know, are they wearing maroon shirts? Are they all the Tylers? Are these all the 3 or 4 different Tylers? And they're all also just driving cars. But I get back to it. I think Plan B was to set up 2 people, and they probably had a second fall guy there. And that second fall guy was supposedly going to be the pickup guy driving them off. Because there's no way that if the guy jumps off the roof and twists his ankle, they go, well, we tried. We were going to pull off a frame job on a guy named Tyler Robinson, but sorry, Bill. I guess you're going to have to eat it. That's not the way these operations work. They've got a backup plan and a backup to the backup plan. The original plan, mind you, was for Tyler Robinson to be framed alone, and that's what happened. But I think part of that plan was for Tyler Robinson to be taken out so that we're not doing any of this investigation 10 months and 3 days later. Now, speaking of 10 months and 3 days later, I don't want to show the flight paths on the screen. I thought about showing it on the screen. I don't want to show it on the screen because I'm accused of harassing people, and I don't want to do that. But I want to describe something. This hearing started on September the 6th. July the 6th. Last Monday, July the 6th, this hearing date started. And we were able to look at the different planes that are used by these different TPUSA people and get a determination of what time everybody arrived. Erica Kirk's plane, we believe, arrived around, what time is that? 2550 minus 6, 7:50 p.m. the night before, September 6th. So around 8 o'clock the night before, Erica Kirk, we believe, flies in on a Gulfstream 5. She flew into Ogden, stayed in Ogden, didn't stay in Salt Lake, didn't stay in Provo, but stayed way far north of town, a couple hour drive, hour and a half drive away. And I get it. It's the same reason I didn't have any fault with her going in a side door. It's safe. Stay way out away from town, stay way far away. It's why we never told anyone where she was. It's why we never told anybody we knew what time she arrived. Just wait till it's all over and then we'll recap. That's what we've done. We've waited till it's all over and she's safely back home. Now we can recap where she's been. No reason to put anybody in any jeopardy. Not that it would, but no reason for them to claim that we're putting people in jeopardy. It's nonsensical. It's stupid, but I don't even want them to have the claim. But she flies in 7:50 the night before. Her plane does not stop. It keeps going. It goes to Kalispell, Montana. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to ask you, what in the hell is going on in Kalispell, Montana? For a little dinky town that almost nobody had heard of before this case started, it gets so many private plane flights from TPUSA affiliated people. It's uncanny how often they're in Kalispell, Montana. I mean, it's absolutely uncanny. I'll show you why it's weird to me. Because if you look at Kalispell, it's basically a map dot. It's one little tiny map dot. Hold on, I'm trying to find the main street here. Where's the main street of Kalispell? There it is. So I'm on Main Street here in Kalispell, Montana. I'm going to give the game away if I show my screen right. There it is. So let me show you real quickly what I'm talking about. This is Kalispell. We're talking about, I'm not kidding, a legitimate map dot. Oh, I lost it. I apologize. I'm an amateur. All right, let me back up here. I got to do this just right or it won't have the right effect. All right. This is Kalispell, Montana. Why are so many TPUSA people flying into Kalispell? You'll notice it's just like any other city in America. They've just got some stuff, old-timey looking town. We're just looking around. It just looks like any small town America. You know, these kinds of buildings here, all this stuff, nothing to it. And you just turn around in every direction and you think, why would anybody be flying nonstop constantly to Kalispell? What is that? What is that brand new looking building? Oh, that's the FBI headquarters. They got a bank in there too. But that's the FBI headquarters for Kalispell, Montana. If you look, it says it's right there. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, right there. I don't know if that's what they're doing in Kalispell or not, but it's enough to make you wonder as often as they're going up there. It makes it feel like this is kind of an FBI operation. So we notice that. We're taking notes, we're listening, we're watching, we're seeing different people go different places. We watch a plane presumably drop off Erica because that never goes back. Drop off Erica and immediately continue on to Kalispell. Okay, fair enough. And it goes from Kalispell, and it doesn't really matter what it does the rest of the week because Erica Kirk's at the trial. And so at the end of the week, you figure, where did Erica go by the end of the week? The trial was over on the 10th. And then we were able to figure it out. She was picked up in Ogden, Utah. The plane leaves Ogden, Utah at, what's that, 20:36 minus 6, 14:30, 2:36 p.m. It was a morning ending. Drive up, grab your bags, get on the plane, off you go. And you're leaving Ogden. And you would figure after 5 days away from home, you would rush home to see your kids. And couldn't wait to get home and see your kids. Well, not exactly. Not exactly where they went. In fact, they flew into Manassas, Virginia. Flew into Manassas, Virginia. And if you know anything about Manassas, Virginia, I'm going to take a screen cap and show you. That way we hide the flight information. If you know anything about Manassas, Virginia, you will instantly recognize what I'm about to show you. It was the strangest place you would ever think someone might go immediately following being in a trial for a week. What's in Manassas, Virginia? The Marine Base Quantico. What's at Marine Base Quantico? The FBI testing office. Now, Manassas, Virginia, you say, well, that's kind of suburban Washington, D.C. Yeah, but there are 6 closer airports to Washington, D.C. than Manassas, Virginia. In fact, when the FBI director flies to Marine Base Quantico, he flies into Manassas. We know what planes he flies as well. I thought that was an interesting choice. You know, you just finished up your whole week. You're dying to get home and see your kids. It's Friday night. You've had a very stressful week, cried many times. You had to get up and leave court a few times because the testimony was particularly stressful on you. You don't rush home. You don't rush home. You run to Manassas, Virginia. You run to Manassas, Virginia. And then we saw she finally leaves the Washington, D.C. area on today, right? Which plane was she on? Let me look at the. She finally leaves Washington, D.C. on, yesterday. But they don't go home. She gives her big speech. Everybody's sharing clips of it. They leave Washington, D.C., but they don't go back to Scottsdale. That was yesterday, Red. They don't go back to Scottsdale. Instead, they go to Dillon, Montana. Little bitty Dillon, Montana. Tiny, tiny little map dot. They're only there about 30 minutes, and then they fly to the next city over called Bozeman, just about a 10-minute flight away. And I couldn't figure out what the connection was between Dillon and Bozeman. Like, if you're going to find a Bozeman, just find a Bozeman. Why would you fly to Dillon and then to Bozeman? Do you know who owns a tremendous amount of property in Dillon, Montana? Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch owns a disgusting amount of property in Dillon, Montana. The top of his property to the bottom of his property is 50 miles. 50 miles. Think of what interstate exit you live near. Think of an interstate exit 50 miles away. That's how much property is in this one piece of property. The big piece of property. They bought it from the Koch brothers. Dillon, Montana. They fly into Dillon, Montana, then they fly over to Bozeman. I don't know. Maybe you pick up someone in Dillon and you go to Bozeman and then you have your meetings. They're there overnight and then leave today. Leave Bozeman, back to Dillon for just a short period of time, an apparent drop-off, and then finally back home. And then the plane, for whatever reason, continues on to Las Vegas. I don't know if someone who was also on the plane needed to continue on to Las Vegas or whether that was, the pilot's like, man, a lot of traveling this week. I'm going to go gamble. I don't know. But it's just a weird set of events. Like if I had just been through one of the most stressful weeks of my life, I would want to go home. And if I'm not speaking until Sunday, maybe I go home on Friday and fly to Washington, D.C. on Sunday. I don't fly to Marine Base Quantico, where the FBI testing headquarters is, and then wait a couple of days in the D.C. area and then drive up to Washington, D.C., give my speech, and then fly, but not fly home. Fly to Dillon, Montana, and then to Bozeman, Montana, and then home. I say all this to say, guys, unless she's paying for this privately, I'm assuming all this is being paid for by TPUSA. I don't know that. I mean, truthfully, I don't audit their books, but this is not an exaggeration. People like to bang on Candace. Oh, Candace makes so much money on an episode, or bang on this creator or that creator. Oh, they make too much money. Those flights alone, I did a little math, to Ogden, to Kalispell, Ogden, Quantico, DC, to Dillon, to Bozeman, to Dillon, and back to Scottsdale. My back of the envelope math was almost $300,000. I don't know what percentage of our audience makes $300,000 a year. That was burnt in airline mileage in a couple of days. That's a lot. And it's fair game because they're a nonprofit entity, which means to the extent that they call that a business expense, they don't pay taxes on it. No, it doesn't get charged to anybody. Now, it's possible, like I say, that she could be paying it out of her pocket. Maybe she say, hey, this is a personal flight. Here's $150,000 or whatever, and I'll just cover the cost. Don't worry about it. It's possible they're charging it to one of the for-profit entities they have. And, Charlie was a wealthy man and involved in a lot of business. Maybe he had private flight credits with a bunch of his business. I don't know. I really honestly don't know. But I am mystified. I am totally mystified why at the end of that week, that stressful week, you didn't fly straight home. His parents flew straight home. I saw their plane. His parents left about the same time she did. They didn't fly to Marine Base Quantico. They didn't go to Washington, D.C. They didn't go to Dillon, Montana. They didn't go to Bozeman. They didn't go back to Dillon. They didn't go back to Scottsdale. They went home. They flew to Chicago. It's been a long week. A very stressful week. They lost their son. There was a preliminary hearing with the guy accused of taking their son's life. I'm sure it was very taxing on them. They went home. I think she should have gone home. If I'm being honest. I think she should have gone home. But that's up to her. I mean, it's her life. She can live whatever life she wants. I do want to know where the kids were this whole time. I am curious about where the kids were. All right, I'm going to switch gears. I got to show you the Lance Twiggs testimony. We have a few timestamps here set out for you. I want to clarify as I go through this. I'm going to clarify one piece of confusion that has reigned supreme all week. It will come up early, so you'll know the moment I clarify it. But let me play this testimony. Not in its entirety. We're going to skip around a little bit. It's 20 minutes long. I don't want to spend the whole 20 minutes. All right, we're going to open here. How well did Lance Twiggs know Tyler? How well did Lance Twiggs know Tyler? Should be easy, right? This is the furry boyfriend.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Now, do you or don't you? Do you know Tyler? I mean, that's, if somebody came up to me and they're like, do you know Bill Smith? And Bill Smith lived in my house until September 10th, I'd be like, yes, I know Bill Smith. He lived in my house. I wouldn't have to stop, pause, look up at the sky, think about it.
Twiggs.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know Tyler. What does Tyler Robinson do for a living? Actually, hold on. I had one more thing I wanted to share here that's not in the notes. Oh, and I think I closed them out. Let me real quickly. Let me go to the transcript. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go to where he talks about when did he meet Tyler Robinson. So here we are back. When did you meet Tyler Robinson?
All right. Okay. Sorry about that interruption. All right. So you said when you first met, you were roommates?
There's been a lot of confusion that he said met Matt, as if the guy's name was Matthew and he's nicknaming it down to Matt. When you met Matt, you were roommates. That's not at all what he's saying here. I'm going to back it up a little bit and then put it in context. It makes a lot more sense.
So
I think this one's mic is on.
okay, sorry.
Okay, you know, I'll mute my mic.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So we should be good. All right.
I don't think I backed it up enough. No, I didn't.
Just to make a record, I'm going to do it again. You do
No
solemnly. And will you describe your relationship with Tyler when you first met him anyway?
When I first met him, I didn't know him super well. He was just a new roommate. So
That's what he's referencing. When you first met him, he's like, well, when I first met him, I didn't know him very well. He was just a roommate. And then he goes on to say he actually met him before that, not in person.
I knew he knew my friend group, and I knew he liked playing games, but that's about it when we first when he first moved in.
Okay. Before we go on,
And now he changes. Now let's go back. That's the context for this next question where he talks about, okay, so when you first met him, meaning you were aware of him, you guys may have played games, he was part of your friend group, but when you met him, meaning when he moved in.
Yes.
Okay. Great. All right. Okay. Sorry about that interruption. All right. So you said when you first met, you were roommates?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point, your relationship progressed to something more than just roommates. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
Did that seem very confident? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were lovers. I see no evidence of it. I don't think they were boyfriend. I think that is a totally made up thing of his. I just don't believe it. This guy doesn't act like it at all.
I think we started dating 2 or 3 months after he moved in.
Okay. And where did you live at that time?
And he says they lived at the apartment where eventually was. Okay, now let's skip forward to, do you even know what Tyler does? Okay. We're told this is a guy that Tyler Robinson literally took a life for. He was so in love. He was so taken by him.
Do construction.
Okay. How about Tyler?
I think he was both working. I think he was working for an electrician company then, and he was also in a trade school for being I don't know, higher ranking electrician. I'm not sure how the trade system works for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he was both.
What was his typical work day like?
He didn't even know, did he go to school? What days? What time did he get? He didn't know any of that. It's almost like he was just sort of a passive roommate, a guy who was part of the friend group and he moved in.
I think he'd leave around 7 generally and get back around 3 to 4, depending on where the job was and how long it was for the day.
I want you to listen to his voice for a second. We already said that there's no way that someone would kill Charlie Kirk over the L, the G, or the B in LGBT if they know anything about Charlie Kirk. If they follow him closely enough to be willing to take his life, it can't be over the L, G, or B if they know anything about Charlie Kirk and anything about TPUSA. The place is literally crawling with L's, G's, and B's. I mean, it's eaten up with the place. So it has to be the T. Is there anything in this guy's affect, anything in his voice, anything in his appearance that makes you think he's a T.
And then on certain days of the week during school, like semesters, he would then later in the day, I think around 5 or 6, go to school. So, yeah.
Okay, let's jump to September 10th. Did he spend the night in the apartment the night of September 9th into September 10th?
Yeah, he did. Yes.
Do you know?
Someone's coaching him too. Someone's like, yes, you have to give a clear yes. Because he's like, yeah, he did. Yes. Someone's coaching this guy into
When he
these.
left.
There are a lot of people in the room. There's only one guy on camera. There's this Sarah Varner. She's a victim's rights advocate. David Sturgill, I think. I don't know what that guy does. But there are other people in the room. It's not just the two of them, because there was a woman who came up and she's not one of them, and she was fiddling with the microphone. And you can see him looking at other people.
Left the apartment on September 10th.
I don't know an exact time. I just know he left early. I heard him leaving, and he just said he had a long drive to work that day, so he was leaving early.
Okay, so early. Any guess as to what when that was?
I don't know. I would have thought it was 5 a.m. because that's when like an early work day was for him, but it was probably more like 4.
Okay. You would have thought 5, but then I'm going to look at somebody and now I'm going to say 4. Did you see that? Like you don't change your estimation in the middle of a sentence. I would have thought maybe like 5 a.m. Oh, I think 4.
When that was?
I don't know. I would have thought it was 5 a.m. because that's when like an
And that's him looking up at somebody. So he's looking past there. He's looking up at somebody.
early work day was for him, but it was probably more like 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna have him spit out his gum just to make sure that.
I can do that.
You mind? Hit it right in front of your laptop.
Here you go.
All right, let's jump forward ever so slightly. What was Lance doing on the biggest news day in Utah history?
What time did you get up on September 10th?
Probably like 12 to 1 p.m.
Yeah, probably around after it was over, so I definitely wasn't there. I was just asleep. That's my alibi. I'm sticking to it. I was snoozing, officer. I promise.
You didn't have to work that day.
No.
Didn't have to work that day. A Wednesday. He does blue collar remodeling and construction. Tyler had to take the day off of work because he also does blue collar construction type work. Just a couple of blue collar construction gay guys. You know, the blue collar construction field's just eaten up with trans and furries. And he just mysteriously didn't have to work on a Wednesday, and he just slept until after it happened. I was just sleeping. Notice he never again asked him what he did the rest of the day.
And did you hear from Tyler? Did he call or text you before then?
No, he sent that message in the group chat I mentioned, but he didn't message me directly at all.
And we talked about this, but I want to show it because I think it's relatively critical to whether or not Lance Twiggs is an honest human being. I think the answer to that question is pretty obvious. No, he's not. But he says he didn't hear from Tyler that day. He sent a message in the group chat, meaning probably the Discord chat, if I had to guess. He sent a message to the group chat, but I didn't hear from him directly. Except the phone text you show says you did hear from him at 4:33 p.m. on Wednesday. While Tyler Robinson is out scrambling to get his gun, allegedly, while Tyler Robinson is trapped in Orem for a little longer yet because they're police dogs and police cars and he can't get back. There's a text message from Tyler Robinson at 4:33 p.m. that he says he didn't get. The problem is he responded to it, allegedly, in my opinion. That's what this evidence seems to suggest. I don't know how many of these are fake. I don't believe all of them are real. But I don't believe Lance Twiggs is a credible guy. Has anybody double checked to see whether Lance Twiggs was supposed to work that day? Or was Wednesday his day to sleep till 12 or 1 and then be unaccountable for the rest of the day and have no alibi, nobody identify where he is, nobody to tell you that they saw him, even though his DNA is all over the crime scene? We're just not going to worry about it. We're going to take his word for it. Oh, you were sleeping? Good. Good night. I hope it was good. It's a little suspicious to me. He's a dishonest human being. According to his text, he's dishonest.
What about, he asks you here, remember how I was engraving bullets?
Which is, by the way, one of the most insane things in the history of the world. No one would ever say, remember how I was engraving bullets. Even if you were engraving bullets, you wouldn't say, remember how I was engraving bullets? That wouldn't come out of your mouth.
Was he engraving bullets before this?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, but he had said he was planning to go hunting with his family. And he asked me for if we had a Dremel because he said he wanted to engrave messages on bullets. And I just told him where our Dremel was and told him to make sure he doesn't set off a bullet on accident in the house.
Yeah, be careful up there playing with bullets. It's dangerous work. Just be careful, would you, honey? My love, my sweet. Do they sound? Does that interaction? Does this guy's affect sound like somebody who's texting "my love" this and it's all I did it all for you, my love, and my love this and my. Does his interaction sound anything like someone who talks like that? Does he talk like that? Like this 16th century Shakespearean prose? Or does he sound like a brain-dead, zombie, mentally ill 22-year-old? Because that's kind of how he appears. That's sort of his mental history that's been released publicly.
But I didn't really think about it until then.
How long before September 10th was this that he asked about the Dremel?
I don't remember because he'd been talking about the hunting/camping trip for a couple months.
This is a kid, Tyler Robinson, who has for months been talking about this family trip he's going to take. It's hunting and camping trip. Not something he sounds like I got to get roped into this. No, he's looking forward to it. He's talking about it for months. He doesn't present in that retelling as the type of kid who's like, to hell with my old man. He's too MAGA. I'm taking lives. He sounds like a decent kid who likes to hunt with his dad, fish. Did some Boy Scout activities growing up. And the reason I bring that up is not to say, oh, I'm super pro Tyler Robinson. I'm just saying it doesn't sound like it's consistent with the evidence that we've been presented about him. It sounds like someone who for a couple of months was looking forward to taking a family trip with his old man, his ultra MAGA old man.
But I don't remember when he was specifically asking to engrave the bullets. So
are we talking like a year before?
Oh no, not that long. It would have been, I'd say at most a month before this.
Got a problem now though, guys. At most a month before this. Okay, so for a month he's engraving bullets for an event to kill Charlie Kirk that Charlie Kirk doesn't announce until a week and a half before. That timeline doesn't add up. That's a problem. Or was he just engraving bullets on the off chance a high-profile political figure was going to make his way to Orem, Utah at some point, or St. George? It doesn't sound like the story we've been told. Sounds like a different event. This guy, maybe a month before, is out there engraving. Remember how I was engraving bullets? Oh, yeah, I was engraving bullets. It wasn't announced a month before. Wasn't announced that early. All right, let me fast forward a little bit to the next little slice here. What happened to the note? You got a note, right? This is the critical piece of evidence, the handwritten note.
Okay, the notes have been titled 16.3 with a note. And this is base number 58. Do you recognize that on the screen there?
Yeah.
What do you recognize it as?
That was the note under his keyboard that he was referring to in the first text of that chain.
Okay, so where did you find this?
On his desk underneath his computer keyboard.
On the desk underneath his computer keyboard, meaning he has access to his computer, physical access. If he's a roommate and they play the same games, maybe he has access to the login credentials, the password to access the computer. If you have my password to my computer, you can send text out in my name. I would say a good chunk of the texts I send during the day are done on my computer and not on my phone, but they do appear on my phone. They do appear on my phone, but they're actually sent from this keyboard right here. That's a weird thing about the way Apple works. So what happened to the note? You found the note. It's a critical piece of evidence. We were told the note was burned.
And I assume you read it.
Yeah.
And then what did you do with it after you read it?
I believe I just put it back down on the desk after I took a picture of it.
I believe I just put it back on the desk after I took a picture of it. I think I did. Never saw it again. Well, if you don't believe me, I'll play it. He goes on to say he never saw it again.
Okay. And again, the time you read it was probably around 11 o'clock or so on the 10th.
Yes.
The night of September 10th.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And did you ever see that again after you placed it back on his desk?
No, I don't think I did.
I don't think I saw it again. I placed it back down. I took a picture of it. I had to preserve this critical piece of evidence, but I don't think I ever saw it again. How do you not know if you saw it again? Like, do you observe anything and remember it? Like, are you the kind of, it's a pretty big deal. Your roommate confessed allegedly to murder in this note. You thought enough of it to take a picture of it. Then you set it on the desk and you can't remember if you ever saw it again.
And do you recognize this series of messages here?
Yeah, that was the server of like his friend that I was mentioning.
Okay, and this is your phone again?
Yeah.
Again, I would recognize my phone, particularly if it was all beat up in that condition. I wouldn't be like, yeah, I guess I do. We think we know what messages these are. We're not 100% sure we know what messages we are, but we think we know what messages these are. We think these are these messages here. He said, do you recognize these? And he said, yeah, I think that's the server that his friends group was on. And this is these series of messages. And it has this fatal, now keep in mind this timestamp is an hour ahead because of where it was captured in the central time zone, not the mountain time zone where it was allegedly drafted. So this Zealous Monkey 55095, this purports to be Tyler Robinson down here. But these up here allegedly are his friends. These are his friend group. Up here. Again, I don't know if I've seen no evidence from anyone to say who actually drafted any of those messages or those friends at all. I do know that Discord makes me really nervous. I don't love Discord. I also know that I would recognize my phone. If you put my phone up and it was in that, particularly that condition with the holes all over it and the screen all cracked, I would recognize it immediately. Now, here is an interesting discussion about the messages that took place on September 11th.
Yeah, it looks like the last text from Tyler, looks like it's 8 p.m. And do you know what day this would have been, 8 p.m. on the 10th or the 11th?
I would think that would be the 11th. Because at least I think so, because I don't think on the 10th that he messaged anyone before me at like 11. So.
And he turned himself in on the 11th, right?
I thought so, yeah.
I just feel like the boyfriend would know the date he turned himself in. Like, none of us here would I think he turned himself in on the 11th. Like, this is, and we're just like passive people. And he supposedly was interviewed that same day at 1:00 in the morning. Like, this should be seared in his mind. How often do you get interviewed by the FBI? Maybe some more than others, but ideally not very often. Not very often.
Again, those messages covered from September 10th to the evening of September 11th. Now, September 11th, what time did you see Tyler on September 11th?
Yes.
When did you first see him on September 11th? So this is the day after the shooting.
Yeah, I saw him when I woke up. Like I said, he was up and around doing a lot of stuff around the house.
Now, this is a little bit of an inconsistency. This is a little bit of an inconsistency here, because not the text messages they showed in the preliminary hearing, but the text messages we have in our records that were on the probable cause affidavit, the search warrants. You remember we built out a whole timeline of different text messages. And Lance Twiggs supposedly was at his mom's house. And remember, he needed to find some excuse to get out of the house. And he had to, oh, I'll tell my mom I'm going to do laundry. I'll see you in a little bit. Now, this would have all been like 7, 8, 9 in the morning. But now he's seeing Tyler Robinson when he wakes up. That's not consistent with what we were told. That is a total difference of what we were told. You can't say, oh, I saw him when I woke up, and also say we had this whole long exchange where I was at my mother's house celebrating her birthday at 9 a.m. and looking for an excuse to get out of the house. And those were text messages they gave us, the public. Well, they put them in court filings that eventually became made public, and that's what we looked at. And so how do you square that circle? There's just a lot of things in here that are not consistent with what was represented to us as an airtight, Loctite, perfect case, open and shut case. We were told it was an open and shut case. Let me keep rolling here. I don't have too many more cuts off of this.
And then I think I saw him after that message where I said I'll come home and say I'm doing laundry, because I didn't want him going to my parents' house right then when he said there was probably cops outside. So I went back home, and it was just him there.
So now he's backing off of the story. He says, I saw you when I woke up, and it's almost as if somebody in the room is like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? You're not supposed to see him in the house. You're not supposed to see him when you wake up. You're supposed to be at your mom's house. Oh, so I think I saw him after, we had this series of so did you see him when you woke up or not? Like, that's the answer. That's the question. You've given two different scenarios here in 20 seconds. Did you see him when you woke up, or did you see him? Oh, I didn't want him coming to my parents' house, so I went over there. Or are you saying I woke up at my parents' house? In which case, why were you asleep at your parents' house? You have your own place.
And I said bye to him, and then he drove off. So I just went back to my parents' house.
And I just went back to my parents' house.
Erratically, was he pacing? Was he just sitting down, relaxing?
No, he was walking around a lot.
And that's within the home.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you see his lips move at all when he said that he was walking around a lot? Go back and watch this again. Just watch his face here. Did his lips move at all when he says this?
Erratically, was he pacing? Was he just sitting down, relaxing?
No, he was walking around a lot.
He's a ventriloquist. He's throwing his voice. He was walking around a lot. He's talented ventriloquist, but I didn't see his voice move. But we can't just have the text messages, because people can say, well, anybody can send the text messages. We've got to put his confession in his own mouth. And that's what they're seeking to establish here. Not only did he confess by text, not only did he confess by letter, he also confesses with his own mouth.
That's within the home.
Mm-hmm.
And did he talk about what he had done?
Didn't go into detail. I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it. And then kept going around and just doing stuff, I think, to keep himself busy or distracted or something.
Through this whole exchange, his lips don't move right. I mean, granted, there are technical glitches and computer glitches, and it's not the highest quality footage. But I'm very concerned, if I'm being honest, that there might have been dubbing over things, or I really don't know. Like they went back and cleaned it up because he didn't say the right thing the first time. Because he's shaking his head like he's like, no, he didn't say anything. Go back and I'm going to play just a few more seconds of this. I want you to watch his lips, watch his head, and then compare it to what you hear coming out of his mouth.
I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it. And then kept going around and just doing stuff, I think, to keep himself busy or distracted or something.
Am I the only one on earth that sees that his lips don't match what he's saying? And that his head movements are not consistent with what he's saying? Like you wouldn't shake your head no during that? Yeah, he just was telling me all about what he did. Oh, sorry, hold on. Yeah, he told me all about what he did. He's confessing to the whole thing. He just says he wished he didn't do it. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. It's not consistent. It doesn't look right. And if we're going to accept this as probable cause evidence, you at least need to record it in a way that I can see his mouth move. There are court reporting services that specialize in video depositions. They don't do it on Zoom when they're sitting across the table from each other. Now, you might have to use Zoom if one guy's in New York and the other guy's in LA. But you don't do it this way on Zoom when you're across the table from each other, in my opinion, unless you intend to manipulate the evidence. Get a court reporting service in there and record his face. We were doing this in like 2005, 6, 7. You would go to a video deposition and there would be a professional videographer there and they would have their lights out and their really big cameras. Cameras were bigger back then, 20 years ago, guys. They'd have these giant cameras and they'd have these big lights and they would test it. All right, say, count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're good. We're good. Because with his mouth moving that way, you could go back and edit anything in on top of what he just said. And no one would know. Now, maybe there is a court reporter there who's transcribing it. We haven't seen the transcription. We just got the video. But this is the type of stuff you do. This is why I'm saying Tyler Robinson is in grave danger. This is the type of stuff you do if you don't plan on Tyler Robinson going to trial. If you don't plan on Tyler Robinson breathing oxygen and Lance Twiggs sitting on a courtroom dock giving testimony. Because I think it's ludicrous. The lawyer's mouth always moves. His head's bobbed consistently with what he's saying.
Okay. Did he talk about what he was going to do next?
And then we got to turn the screen off because even our edits look too bad.
And then eventually said that he would talk to his parents or turn himself over.
Okay. And when you left, was that how you left, understanding that he was going to turn himself in or go to his parents' house?
Yeah, and I didn't really want to be at our apartment while any of that was happening, regardless of what went down.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, I don't believe this. I don't believe that in the year 2026, even if everything's true, even if every word out of his mouth is the exact word he uttered that day, I cannot believe in 2026 we're going to make a probable cause determination based on this. Not have a witness in the courtroom, not have it in writing where he signed it, but just have him giving a videotape where his lips don't move, his head bobs inconsistently, it glitches out all over the place. And that's what we're going to submit to Your Honor, Judge Tony Graff.
Okay, before he came home, had you seen the press releases, any of the media on this?
I'd seen one Instagram link a friend of mine had sent in our group chat, but I hadn't really looked into it at all.
You guys want to guess what that Instagram link was? I know what it was. I'll tell you right now what it had to be. It had to be about somebody getting detained. Because if that's the only thing he saw, if that's absolutely the only thing he saw, then it had to be that. Because from his text messages, right off the bat, he says, drop what you're doing, look under the keyboard. What? You're joking, right? Blank. I tried to delete that. I'm still stuck in Orem. Shouldn't be longer. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I thought they caught the person. So if the only thing he knew about the Charlie Kirk case was that they caught the person, I just closed the wrong screen. If the only thing he knew about the case was that he caught the person, then that had to be what the link was about. Because otherwise, once again, we have an inconsistency with his 1102 deposition. Because that's what the text said. He said he was aware they caught somebody. And the only thing he saw was a single Instagram link. It's weird to me that that's the only thing that he saw on Instagram. He's on Instagram, and that's all he comes across. The only thing he sees. What's my timestamp here? I had to open it back. All right, let's go to the FBI picks. This is the fun part for me. And we talked about this the other day, but even better in light of the fact that they have multiple Tylers running around. Even better now. Let me pull it up. Apologize for the technical delays, my friends.
Okay, I'm on the FBI's website. You can see the URL there at the top. This is some press release about this event. And here on the screen, you see looks like there's two.
Now, I want you to know he has shown him all 6 pictures already. So if he recognized him in any of these pictures, it should jump off the screen at him. And he should have no question it's him. He has looked now at all 6 pictures. He rolled through the first 3, then he rolled for the second 3 before he even asks the question.
Rows of 3 images.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
And when he says, do you recognize the person, he rolls back up so you can see the face in all 6 images.
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty.
All right, we're going home, guys. That's reasonable doubt. The money line in any trial is, that's him right there. That's him. That's the guy who did it. I'm 100% certain he's sitting right there at the defense counsel's table. Let the record reflect that the witness has pointed to the defendant, Mr. Bill Smithers. And he cannot state it, and he just looked at all 6 pictures.
Just because of camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat, but he was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans. So it definitely, especially the bottom, the last 2, definitely do look like him.
And again, we can't really see what his face and that little bitty camera thing up there. We can't see who he's looking at. We can't tell where his eyes are. This is not a professionally done deposition. This is a Zoom call taking place across the table from each other. But try to look at his face. I can imagine, because he's saying he can't definitively identify him, and then all of a sudden he decides, no, in fact, I can. That definitely looks like him.
He was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans. So it definitely, especially the bottom, the last 2.
It almost sounds like the cut in the Charlie Kirk thing. Something ever happens to me, we've got a good board, they'll figure it out. I appoint Erica. She'll do a great job. But guys, that sounds like it was a jump cut. Listen again for the jump cut here.
He was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans. So it definitely, especially the last two, definitely do look like him.
Sounds like a jump cut. And you can't see with his little bitty face up there what his mouth is doing, what his eyes are doing. You can't tell. But it sounds like it was cut in. No one talks like that normally. I have to struggle to do it. I'll try to do it one more time and listen to the effort, the painstaking effort. Tens of thousands of hours of broadcast training in order to pull this off. This is not an easy feat, guys. But I'll do it. Ready? I can't state with 100% certainty. I mean, it does kind of look like him. He's got shoes on. Tyler always wore shoes. I've never seen that hat in particular, but he was a big hat guy. He loved hats. So he's wearing a hat. And sunglasses. He liked sunglasses and shirts. He had a shirt on. It definitely looks like him. 100%. I'll play it one more time. I think this is damning.
A hat, and then jeans. So it definitely, especially the last two, definitely do look like him.
And then the emphasis on do. The bottom two do look like him. You just like a second ago, you'd looked at all 6 pictures and you couldn't state with 100% certainty. And all you could say is he had on jeans. He liked jeans. He's a big jean guy. Big into denim. Blue jeans, black jeans. Supposedly gay. Maybe he wore white jeans. We don't know. But it sounded like a jump cut. Are you saying that they might have fiddled with this? Yes, I am saying that. The guy's lips don't move at critical junctures of the testimony. He's sitting there with a blank expression on his face, and words are coming out of his mouth. And then the most critical part of the testimony, the ID, where we're supposed to believe that the Tylers are all the same Tyler. And he's like, I don't know, man. I can't really tell. I do think it looks like him. Though, especially those bottom two. I do. Now, you must believe, ladies and gentlemen, if a man is willing to take on a political assassination, he must have been huge into politics. It must have been all he talked about. It must have been on his mind constantly, right?
Group on to play, and he was someone that my friends invited.
Okay. Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me. I don't really keep up with politics very much. He'd usually talk about stuff he heard on the radio on his drive to work in like their work car, since it sounds like their whole crew went in the same car most of the time. But I wouldn't say super consistently, because it wasn't a topic I really contributed much on.
Hey, Daisy, do you have the Jordan Peterson link you can drop in there? Just put it under 3S2 if you can. This does not sound, or in the Andrew Tate one, this doesn't sound to me like a particularly convincing support for the fact that Tyler Robinson planned and executed Charlie Kirk over politics. Some hate can't be negotiated out. It was on my mind constantly. I even engraved bullets for the special occasion sometime in the last month or so.
What about Charlie Kirk? Did he ever talk about Charlie Kirk?
I personally had never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before specifically.
Oh, man. I don't want to spoil the surprise if you're new to the show, but Charlie Kirk's the guy he shot, allegedly, in the state's opinion. And he never talked about him. Never dawned on him to bring him up, even though he's planning to take his life away, and he's so much hate you couldn't negotiate out of him, and he did it all for Lance. But he never bothered to bring him up. Never actually spent any time talking about it.
Okay. How about political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
No, not really.
No, not LGBTQ stuff either. Nope, didn't talk about that. Not Charlie. Not really talked about much political stuff. Hey, every now and then he'd mention something that the boys had talked about on their blue collar job when they crammed themselves into the car, as blue collar people tend to do. Just a couple of blue collar gays living together in Utah. It was like 98% Republican. But we never talked politics. Never talked politics. Never talked gay stuff. I mean, maybe talked a little gay stuff, but not that gay politics.
Usually if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump or current like policies being
Again, it feels like a cue happened there. I want to go back and let it just run in real time without the pause. He doesn't talk about Charlie Kirk. He doesn't talk about LGBTQ stuff. He doesn't talk about politics. And then there's a sudden decision to change your mind. All of a sudden, he does talk about Trump.
Issues. So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
No, not really. Usually if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump or current like policies being like issued or voted on, I think. But
I think.
Yeah.
We were sold a different story. We were sold a completely different story. We were told this was a political assassination. And it was motivated by the amount of hate Charlie Kirk had. And he was so motivated by it, he actually never talked about it. He was so motivated by it, it never came up. And the hate was about trans rights or gay rights or something. But doggone it, he never really talked about that either. I mean, occasionally he would talk about a particular policy that's being voted on. I don't even talk about particular policies being voted on, and much to your guys' annoyance sometimes. You text me on certain things that are being voted on. I'm like, we're not really talking about that tonight. Oh, that's fine, Days. Don't worry about it. But it is not the story we're told. For example, we were told he confessed to his parents and they turned him in. It was a key critical part of the narrative of Tyler Robinson did it. We were told he's motivated by hate. We didn't get any evidence of that. We didn't get any evidence his parents turned him in. We were told he was motivated by this left-wing ideology, this gay trans stuff. I have some. Daisy's good. She tracked him down on Reddit, of all places. And this was Lance on Reddit. He's on a Jordan Peterson Reddit. This is subreddit Jordan Peterson. Lancelot 3 here talking. People need to stop putting themselves in boxes because political parties don't care about any of their people. They just want money. It was 5 years ago. I mean, doesn't sound, again, like a particularly political person. And if so, he's more on the Jordan Peterson side. Maybe we'll, in the coming days, maybe we'll show you some more of his Reddit posts. There are a lot of them. He was very active on Reddit. Talking about, he's appeared, at least in my opinion, to be a fan of Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson. Like, these are not rabid left-wingers. These are people that the rabid left-wingers hate, even mainstream Republicans hate. So is this consistent with what we were sold? This is the open and shut case. No, it's not. We got a kid who can't even identify him until his lips stop moving. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's definitely him. That's definitely him. I swear. That's 100% him. Look, we may get to the end of this, and maybe it'll be so obvious Tyler Robinson did it. Maybe it'll be one of those things where you just can't avoid that reality and nobody would ever question that Tyler Robinson did this. And if we get to that point, then your humble host will be the first one to get up here and be like, that is an open and shut case. But anyone right now who's telling you it is an open and shut case is not being honest with you. Anyone telling you right now this is one of the clearest cut cases they've ever seen in criminal law is not being honest with you. I saw someone today who was like, it doesn't have to be on camera in order to be a crime. Well, no, but you got to have some evidence. All the evidence can't come through the roommate whose DNA is all over the crime scene. That's called reasonable doubt. The roommate, by the way, who doesn't have an alibi. His alibi is I was asleep. Okay. What else were you doing? Why weren't you working on a Wednesday, dude? And why is your roommate? I mean, I'm sorry. I don't believe he was. I'll state it right now. I don't believe they were in a gay relationship. I just don't. I think we were sold that as a motivating factor. I don't believe. I've seen no evidence of it. He doesn't look like it. And when I say look like it, I don't mean that you like tell by looking at somebody, but he doesn't act like it. It doesn't support the narrative. They stayed in separate bedrooms. They started out just as roommates. He doesn't know where he works. He doesn't know what time he normally leaves or what I think he might be in school or something. I don't know. The kid was going like excited to go hunting with his dad. He'd been talking about it for months. That's just not what we were sold. And I think had Tyler died, we would have all believed it. I think I would have. I think we would have just all believed it. There might have been a few people that are around there like, you can take you back to 9/11. I've come a long way on that. But I remember for the first few years, at several years on 9/11, I would see someone say, jet fuel can't melt steel beams. And I'd be like, oh, God, here we go. Controlled demolition. Wasn't terrorist. Dancing Israelis. Oh, come on, guys. This is so stupid. But after a while, you kind of look at it and you're like, why were they dancing? And what happened to that company they owned? Why was it a fraud? Where'd they all go? Why were they holding lighters up in front of the World Trade Center and taking pictures of themselves? That's a little weird. The whole thing's a little weird. And now that I think about it, why did Building 7 fall anyway? Like, it took me like 10 years before I knew Building 7 fell. I think it was in the 20-teens, and someone said something about Building 7. I was like, what are you talking about? What's Building 7? That was a red pill moment for me. Went back and watched the footage, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. They said on the news that the building had fallen, and it hadn't fallen yet? And then it fell? And it fell like that? It just fell in on itself? Why didn't anyone tell me it fell? We talked about the Pentagon, that conveniently there's no pictures of anything striking. That we talked about the World Trade Center, 1 and 2. We talked about Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where they didn't find much of a plane. Why has no one mentioned Building 7? It took me years to figure this out or to come around on the issue. I don't know that I figured it out, but I've at least evolved on the issue or devolved, depending on your perspective. And maybe years from now, I would look back and be like, that doesn't really look like a 30-06 to the neck, if I'm being honest. But when Tyler Robinson turned himself in and the whole case started, in my opinion, falling apart, and they kept telling us, oh, his parents turned himself in, his parents turned himself in, his parents turned himself in. And I know people who personally had spoken to the family. They're like, they're lying. We did not turn him in. Like, we might have driven him there, but we didn't tell him he did it because he didn't tell us he did it. And I thought, wait a minute. Why are they telling us that he confessed to you if he didn't confess to you? Why are we being told this? And so maybe we would have started to come around. Maybe. But I don't know. I don't know that we would have. And I think that was the plan. I think we saw Plan B today. Plan B was if the guy jumping off the roof hurt himself on his way down, he would be picked up by the white SUV and then they have to frame 2 patsies. That was plan B. I'm pretty confident on that now. There's no reason that car stopped, entered exactly as the shot took place, shot, came to a dead stop until the guy jumps off the roof and then turns and accelerates as soon as he sees he's fine. There's no reason for that. And it happens to look awfully lot like the exact same car that had just pulled up to Tyler Robinson, one of the Tylers, as he was coming onto campus, maybe 30 minutes earlier. Looked like the same car to me. Why is this car hanging around this guy so much? It's almost like he knew something was going to happen. And what's up with this gray GMC SUV that's following everywhere, that seems to be in the parking lot, coming to a complete stop right as Tyler's pulling out, right as an SUV pulls around behind him? And why did that SUV seem to wait until the white SUV, why did it seem to wait until the gray SUV was in the parking lot before it circled around behind them so they could all leave together? And why is that same gray SUV seem to be pulling up beside him out of the lane of traffic? It seems to be the same car to me. It looks identical. How many of them could there be? It's not a late model car. It's a couple of models ago. But why does it look like it turns out of the lane of traffic when one of the Tylers is stopped there on the intersection waiting, and it pulls up and it slows down to almost a stop and then pulls back out into the lane of traffic and drives off? Were they talking to each other? Did they communicate in some way? Did they make a hand signal, an eye signal? Did they make eye contact? We don't know. And was that the same gray SUV turning off of campus? That's the one that probably, if I had to say any of those weren't the same car, I would say it's that one. Because that one would have been stuck in traffic, I think, trying to get off of campus as that was happening. I don't think it could have gotten off of campus into that shopping center in the right time, but maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly what time that was. Actually, I could go back and figure out exactly. It was 27 minutes after the shot. So that'd be 12:50. No, it can't be the same SUV. Can't be in 2 places at once. So were there multiple Tylers walking around town? Were there multiple SUVs that were actually the same SUV that were pulling up next to the multiple Tylers? Were there multiple Dodge Challengers? Why didn't they tell us the license plates? Why are they giving us the descriptions of the car? There's enough going on that you have to step back and evaluate the full court press being put on this case by people who are trying to convince you it was Tyler Robinson alone. Why not just let the court case play out? Why not ask the questions we're asking? What I think are pretty obvious questions. If he's motivated by politics, why did they never talk about politics? If he wanted to kill Charlie Kirk, why did they never talk about Charlie Kirk? If he says he didn't contact him till 11, why is there a text message from him at 4:33? Why wasn't he at work that day? I mean, I think these are legitimate questions. I don't think these are crazy questions to start asking. All right, let me do this. I'm going to run through some questions. I'm going to get to so many comments. I'm going to get to as many as I can. I don't want to scare you off, but it is already almost 9 o'clock here. And I've got 2 meetings tomorrow. I will not be on the air tomorrow. Won't do a member show till Friday. But I've got 2 meetings tomorrow and will not be able to be on the air at all tomorrow. So I'm going to run through as many of these as I can. I should be able to get to most all of them. But if I have to start skipping around at the end, don't get mad at me. You can. I don't care. I mean, I do, but I don't. If you like the show, click the like button. It always helps. I hate to remind you, but I have to be reminded. I watch a lot of podcasts, and until they say hit the like button, I usually don't. I'm actually watching Candace right here and realized I didn't even click the like button on that one. So yeah, click the like button. Oh, the Clips channel. People are loving the Clips channel. Baron Coleman Clips. Just search Baron Coleman Clips on YouTube. You'll find it. It's amazing. If you want to join the program, if you'd like to make a monthly contribution to the production of this program, get access to exclusive member content. We do a member show every week. I think 1 week out of like 7 months we've skipped, and that was because I was out of town. But if you'd like access to the members content, and it's just an easy way to support the program, When you go to subscribe, right next to that's a button that says join. You can click the join button and it'll take you to the members page. If you want to join and save $3, don't sign up on your YouTube app. Go to a browser, log in that way and join from there. That'll save you the $3 Apple fee. I don't get anything out of that $3 Apple fee. That all goes to them. They got plenty of money. Don't pay them anymore. They got enough, I promise. John, don't be rude. But Barron was giving us time to watch Candace, which is also important to him. Love you, B. Yeah, I didn't want you guys to feel like you had to make a choice there at the end, so I apologize. Thoughts from last night's episode. What if they tried to take out TR before the trial? What will we do? Charlie's still gone. No justice. Still lies. What happens next? Regardless of proving who did it. Yeah, if they try to take him out or successfully take him out, at this point, I think it would be supremely problematic because they will have to explain why it is that on a case that appears on its face to be falling apart, that's when their guy decided to take himself out. That doesn't usually work that way. I think that's why they're trying so hard to convince you the case is bulletproof. They want that message out there in case he does get removed. They want the message that this case was so bulletproof when the reality is it is not. It is not. One, handwriting samples can be used with specific AI programs to reproduce a letter. Would clearly be printer ink, not pen. So would have to burn to hide that. Yeah, except there were a couple of letters, I think, that survived the burn. So maybe they can be tested. If not, that's very suspicious. What's up, my B? Can't wait to see how this week goes now that the principal is back. My birthday was this last Saturday. Had a great one. Happy birthday, LaSalle. Hope it was as great as you thought it was. My prediction, Candace has the battle bun on all week long. She was battle bunned up tonight. There's no doubt about that. She was bringing thunder. Thunder. Reminder, the grieving widow claims she had CK's phone for days and never read through the messages he'd sent the day before. Imagine that. Wouldn't most wives pour through every word ever typed? Maybe. I mean, I'm giving her the complete benefit of the doubt when I say this. I think it's only fair to do. If she was particularly destroyed by this, as most widows would, I could see her not wanting to dig through it in like the first 5 days. Now, months later, I think she should have gone through it. I mean, those are the last words your husband's ever spoken, written. Congratulations, top 25 on Spotify. Our humble host has arrived. All glory to God. Congratulations to Daisy, too, and the whole outfit. Christ is King. Indeed, it is a team effort here. It takes all three of us and more. We get a lot of tips from other podcasters and members of the jury who write in tips. So it's a team effort. It's an absolute team effort. But yeah, we someone sent that to me yesterday. They're like, you're in the top 25 on Spotify, and I was like, no. They're like, go look. We were 24. We're 24. I don't know if we still are. Do they change it every day? I'll pull it up if we still are. If we've dropped out of the top 25, I'm gonna hide it. But I'll look. See how it works here. Are we still there? Humble host. Oh yeah, 24. There it is, right there. Right there, 24. Take that, Knowles. Suck it, Daily Wire. Oh, sorry. Congratulations, Michael. Your podcast is doing swimmingly. Just not as swimmingly. Pierce Morgan. Yeah, I was excited about that. So thank you. So to any of you guys who watch on Spotify regularly, we appreciate it. Spotify has been a great partner to us. They've been nothing but helpful when we've had questions, and very thankful for them. Counselor B, FYC. The real reason for all the TPUSA and company mishaps is to annihilate pre-September 10th TPUSA. So they aren't incompetent or stupid. They're doing the job they were hired to do. I tend to agree with that wholeheartedly. I endorse that. And thank you. That's very kind. The one I feed. This one goes out to the one you feed. My B, as you grow and get massive amounts of followers, please stay humble and keep reading all our super chats. Christ is King, indeed. I'll address that because last night I did have to blow through a lot. I cannot commit to reading them all on air. I just promise you I can't. There are days that it will not happen. I get through as many as I can. This is my favorite part of the show because it's a chance to interact with people that I don't interact with on a regular basis. I can't answer every email. It would take, frankly, days to get through one day's worth of email and read them and respond and do all that. I can't read everything someone says, hey, check this out. I can't watch everything someone says, check this out. I'm not aware of another podcast host who spends as much time or as much effort reading super chats. And I do try to read every member chat because those are people who pay for the privilege of joining the members page. And that's one of the privileges I try to offer is reading every members chat, pull it up on the screen and react to it. But I can't commit to reading every single super chat. Some nights there's just too many. Some nights there's not, and we can get through them all. And some nights there's too many. When I started this show, I would get maybe 10 or 20 super chats. And so at the end of the show, I would spend 20 minutes and read through them all. Some nights were bordering on 2.5 hours. And that's with me even being a little selective at times. That's not to say don't send them. I do read them. Like afterwards, I spend the time and while everything's editing and processing, I go through and I scroll through all the super chats and see the ones I missed and read them. And sometimes they make me chuckle and sometimes but I cannot commit to reading them all on the air. That's not being, what do you say? Stay humble. It's not being not humble. It's just a reality. I'm not going to do a 7-hour show every day. I can't. It's not fair to everybody to do that. So thank you. I appreciate that. Baron, I messaged a few shows back about God answering your prayers, but not necessarily how you'd think. Maybe a month ago, I'd asked for prayers. Over the weekend, he kept delivering. He's probably always done, and I'm just finally noticing. Christ is king indeed. Chop rock guitars. That's wonderful news. We're promised God hears every prayer. And some prayers, Garth Brooks had a song. Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. He talks about running into his high school sweetheart and how he just wanted, he just begged God to marry this girl and they didn't get married, and he ends up with this beautiful wife and kids and like the greatest life he could have ever imagined. And then when he runs back into the girl, he realizes that's God's greatest gift was that prayer was not answered. So sometimes God has a better plan than what we're begging for, but I appreciate you following up on that. Principal has returned. It looks like some problem kids on Twitter X haven't done their homework and are spreading disinformation to make the principal look bad while she was on away. Shame. Yeah, I mean, I don't pay attention to the haters. I really don't. I know some people do, and they get all bent out of shape about it, but it doesn't bother me much. Like doing battle with I saw somebody sent me something and I clicked on his account, and I'm not making fun of smaller creators, but he had like 2,400 subscriptions. And I'm like, he's like, I'm going to air Baron out. I'm like, okay, go for it. Have fun. Let me know how it turns out. Baron can't defense subpoena Tyler cell tower records or Google timeline if enabled, plus bank records to corroborate the steakhouse alibi and test the prosecution's timeline, or have they already? Maybe they have. Maybe that's why they did not show any concern towards the steakhouse. I don't know. Wasn't there a guy who said he was paid to say he did it? Paid by whom? Has anyone asked? Yeah, that was George Zen, allegedly. That was someone at the hospital allegedly said that George Zen told the hospital worker that he was paid to do it, or paid to jump up and all that stuff. Just a thought, BS Security call could have been linked to car BT. What if updates came via car speaker, auto connected to phone and all in car? I mean, yeah, we don't know. I mean, my best guess is it was Frank Turk's phone. He claims he was on FaceTime the whole time. If Ben Shapiro's being accurate, and I don't know why he'd lie about that, it makes a lot of sense that it would have come through Frank Turk's phone. I don't know. Frank says he was talking to his son and shoved it in his pocket or something. He's told a lot of things I don't know about, though. Re-listening to Screw Tape Letters today. Couldn't get image of George Farmer narrating out of my head. George Farmer? Mr. George Farmer? The betrothed of Candace Owens Farmer? Narrating Screw Tape Letters? I do want to interview him. I hope he'll let me. Christ is king indeed. Who's here for the after party? Good morning from Sydney, Australia. Sending you lots of love and prayers of protection to you and your family. I get really excited when I see my family and friends share your content. Christ is King indeed. Well, thank you. That's interesting to know. All the way over in Australia, people sharing stuff. That's nails looked orange to me. Oh man, I was going for maroon. I was really rooting for maroon. Were they orange? I was watching on a computer, on a phone and a computer, so maybe I didn't see it right. It looked kind of maroonish, but I'll give you orange if they were orange. Easter eggs are the best. Candace is a professional. That man thought they were maroon. Or woman, excuse me. That woman thought they were maroon. Congratulations on top 25. Grok had your back on X. Ooh, good Grok. Love from Yankeetown, Florida. Population 289, but I'm the only one generation off the mountain and a fellow IU grad. Thank you. Well, go Hoosiers. Thanks for checking in. I know you're a brilliant individual if you graduated from IU. First super chat, third shifter. So love this time slot. Number one fan, Flint, Michigan. Doing amazing work. Love my tank and tea. Keep doing what you do. Baron, third shifter. I don't know how people do that. I know a lot of people do. I mean, it's a huge percentage of the population works third shift, but I like to sleep at night. I don't sleep well during the day. DK increasingly grumpy when speaking. It's unbecoming. That is all. Love you, B and Daisy. I watched that whole speech she gave over the weekend. Not the tone I would have struck, not the tone I would have recommended she strike, but with a PR person as lousy as Andrew Colvett, I understand why she does that. They probably told her, you're going to kill. Walk around, pace all around and get a weird look on your face and like say stuff that doesn't make sense. I want the country to look like this room, not the courtroom. Even though I was in the courtroom. And so was my mother-in-law and my sister and all my friends. Maybe not the best time to say that. I love our podcast family. Christ is King indeed. Thank you, dear Jen. Regarding the spelling caliber when they released the text, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. But I got to grab my rifle still. Americans would omit the yet and say, I've still got to grab my rifle. Yeah. They wouldn't omit it. They would just move it. Oh, omit the yet. Still got to grab my rifle still. Stuck in Orem a little while longer. Yeah. I don't think they were written by an American. I don't think they were written by Tyler Robinson. I'll tell you that. Took me a while, but that opening song now makes me dance when it comes on. Feels good after being sick. Wash hands, guys. Nasty norovirus going around. Ooh, is that the one that makes you go number 2 a lot? That norovirus? I think it is. Yeah. Vomiting and watery diarrhea. Sorry about that, Ken. Wash your hands. Take your vitamin D. Baron had a thought about B. Sneff. Says he doesn't know the TP employee that TR spoke to, but if he did, he knows they had nothing to do with it. What if that's because he knows everyone involved? Crossed my mind. Definitely crossed my mind. Baron, you are familiar with the UCMJ. Would you consider DJT, DJT Jr., and JDV saying TR is guilty, undue command influence? And the military commanders are supposed to remain neutral. JD, being a Marine, knows this. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. They're not, particularly Junior. I mean, he's not in the military. Nor is Vance. Nor is Vance right now. Donald Trump is the commander in chief, but he's the president. He can say whatever. It's not right. I don't think the president should be commenting on pending criminal litigation, but he's the president. Gardening in a light rain, wearing my Love You, My Bee Racerback tank. Love it. You have been with me in my garden since Ian mentioned you in Google Trends. I fell in love it. Welcome in, and Jesus loves you. Christ is King indeed. Bless you and this group. Man, that was awfully positive. You are happy. It's right there in your name. Brandon, it was so great to see your name all over the comments in Julian Dory's recent episode. It seems we all agree you're the antidote to the slop. Is he a slop pusher? Is he a fed slopper? Who's Julian Dory? Let me look him up. Julian Dory, internet personality. Investigative journalist, Julian Dory podcast, massive following. I don't know. Is he pushing the Fed Slop, or did he just host someone who was pushing Fed Slop? But thank you. Thank you. I was reminded today as I was driving down the interstate that I'm always searching for unmarked state troopers in Dodge Chargers. Anyone else noticed unmarked cop cars are after Chargers? Yeah, except Tyler was in a Challenger, not a Charger. Challenger's the 2-door version. Charger's the 4-door version. But yeah, good call. Good call. Nails were definitely not maroon, Baron. Check your eyes. Definitely a shade of. Okay. Okay. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Listening to BJ. BJ, talk about EK losing it and Charlie's mom comforting her. Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson. Makes me sad and sus of Charlie's parents now. Charlie Kirk's dad goes way back with Trump. I don't think they killed their kid, if that's what you're suggesting. Nah, I agree they go back. Harpole in one of the interviews said they went to the bathroom before the event. Well, that must have been the trip up the stairs. Thank you. That's good advice. Good catch there, Cassia. You're not the Cassia, are you? The Daily Fredo? Fredo? I can't talk like she does. Daily Fredo? She was great on the member show. If you're a member, you should go back and watch it. She was great. Okay, so they went to the bathroom. Could have put anything on. Testing, is this thing on? Last night and 2 previous episodes, my super chats were ignored. Something I said. No, Adriana, not at all. Those were 2 particularly busy episodes, and I had to be a little selective. So this thing is on. It is very much on. They all lied about TR taking shot in 4K because they plan on unaliving TR soon, so they can close this case with the world thinking it was definitely him, so that no one else can be investigated. I tend to agree, and it terrifies me. I'm afraid Tyler's defense is aware that Tyler won't be around for long, therefore they're not working hard for evidence. Love you, B. I hope that's not true. Think Ben will tell her the info and collect the 10K since he likes her money so much? Oh, no. How nervous did Candace look when Sean Ryan pulled out the firearm during the interview? I was nervous for a second until I realized it was a gift. You must not watch a lot of Sean Ryan because he gives a lot of firearms away. And Daisy rocks. Christ is king indeed. I agree, dear Jen. And the video of Tyler on the roof, where does it show him stop and assemble the rifle? That had to be before, I guess. I don't know. That's a good question. We were told he assembled it up there. But I don't know either. What time did we picked up about a full minute of him sort of making his way, I guess before that. It'd been nice for them to back it up and show the assembly since that's a key part of the testimony, a key part of the story. Baron, 2 points. The ATF agent testified TR DNA was most degraded. Plus, they said there was dust in the barrel in a freshly fired rifle. Go Max, Christ is king indeed. The dust in the barrel, I've thought about. It was stuffed in the bushes. I don't know if dust gets in a barrel in bushes. I don't know. But yeah, I've thought about that. The most degraded, I'm not a DNA expert. I heard Candace talking about that. I did not talk about that after I watched that evidence because I'm not a DNA expert. I don't want to say something stupid. Not that she said something stupid. She may have experts she's consulting with. Hi, Baron, what would happen if TR disclosed he's a patsy to his attorney? Unfamiliar with the term until now. Thank you for your insight and hard work. They would build a defense around that. It was someone else. I was set up. That's a common defense. LT in videos said TR was up early on the 11th. Where did he sleep the night of the 10th? No discussions. Another timeline issue. Keep going, Max. Well, we know he was getting gas in Cedar City at 7 or 7:15. So he obviously didn't sleep at home. Probably, I think the story is he slept in the car on the way back or pulled over and got a hotel room. I don't know. But not at his house. Not at his house. Bible in a Year readings today. Isaiah 5:20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who acquit the guilty for a bribe and deprive the innocent of his right. I hope that's not Erica's Bible in a Year. Because if so, she needs to read it. Thought I had the answer to Ben's breakfast question, but it was Jay Boring having breakfast with his team, not him. Missed $10,000. Love you both. I thought I had the answer too. And I saw an interesting flight on the night of the 9th that I'm checking out. That would put him in position to have a breakfast meeting that morning. So stay tuned. So thankful for you, Candace, Ian, and the others. The only way now to get the truth anywhere. Legacy Media's done. Compromised podcaster. Lying liars will lie. Thank you. Christ is king indeed. There are several of us out here trying to get to the truth, wherever it is. But yeah, I agree with you. Those, thank you for putting me in their company. It's still weird to see it there. From YouTube, for the YouTube video, electrical safety and jewelry that proves necklace swings up during electrocution. I sent you an email July 11, subject line Electroman. Shows times for key moments, reduces view time to 8.5 minutes. Thank you for your interest. I am going to watch that. I have it bookmarked in my list of things to do. But I don't work on Saturday, so I didn't watch it Saturday. Had the prep for the show Sunday, and was watching the trial prep all last week and prepping for that. So while Dynamo, I appreciate it. I'm not ignoring you. I do have it bookmarked. I am going to watch it. But it's just a time priority issue. But telling me it's bookmarked and shortened is helpful. They will have to throw a lower participant under the bus because the big dogs at the top aren't going to be caught. Lance Twiggs might be low. I think you would struggle to convict Tyler without Lance's testimony. So I'm not sure you can throw him under the bus. Just saying, English SBI inspector and proper English spelling, caliber, and dialect used in text messages. Anyone else know that? Yes, we all now know that. In a good way. Thank you. Did Sergeant McD mention daffodil sniffing KDs? He didn't. But there were no daffodils to befuddle the dogs at the time. Love Daisy and her dog with glasses icon. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, the first time I saw that, I was like, what's that all about? Why do you have that? Baron, you could take a day a week to solely answer super chats instead of staying up late every night so everyone can still feel like they can truly connect with you. Thank you for all you guys do. That wouldn't feel right to just open a show, do no content, just read chats. I mean, most of the chats I respond to are things I said during the show. The early ones are not, but the later ones are almost all. Loki is also a demon outside of Marvel. Oh, Loki. Loki? See Father Ribberger, Sean Ryan interview for one example. Loki possessing someone. Love doggos, but just saying. I did not know that. I watched that interview, but I didn't catch the name. Back to Fiji water, I see. Sunday show. Here's a little something to get some more Mountain Valley Springs. I had to go get more. Thank you. Keep on bringing your keen observations and intellectually honest interpretations in your philosophically consistent manner. Christ is king indeed. Annie, were you the one that bought the last box of Fiji water? Of Mountain Valley. I had no idea how much it was by the box until I went to buy a box. And I was like, whoa, I'm glad somebody paid for it. Now the Tylers. Yes, the Tylers. There's more than one Tyler. You're adorable sometimes, Bubba Baron. I saw the maroon nails. I predicted maroon nails as well. Christ is the almighty king. See, orange people? They looked maroon to me. Maybe she also has seeing eye issues. AUS, what is that? AUS article from 12 September 2025 reported alleged gunman heard on Ring camera discussing the shooting. Also the help of an accomplice, not spoken by media since. You raise a really interesting point. Daisy, we're going to have to go back and find that video. It's been buried. There were some boys that reenacted the trip out. And one of the women that was with him was like, oh, is that the woman that was helping him change clothes? And then it was like that. No one ever mentioned anything else about it again. Hi, Baron. Thank you for all you do. I keep wondering why their text convo began with, did you do it? And not something more like, did you hear what happened? Love and light to you. I think it's an easy answer. The text conversation actually started with, stop what you're doing, look under your keyboard. Under the keyboard was purportedly a handwritten confession. And so it's not what happened to him. He'd already said what happened. That's why. That's the reason why. Daisy will get the 10K on the Candace bounty. I hope so. I'll match it if she does. I want to know who he was eating breakfast with. So if the only true eyewitness to TR even being on campus that day was a TPUSA person at the tent, why wasn't that person called in as a witness? Thanks for all you do, Baron. That's a great point. Christ is king indeed. What, Rose? That's a phenomenal chat. Why didn't they call that person to say, I'm the one who talked with him? It was definitely him. You don't have to focus on grainy potato quality video footage. I saw him with my own two peepers up close. Here's what he said. Great call. Hear me out on BS. As much as I dislike him, he's too smart to spill about CK's security communication with his own security. Could this be a distraction back to Sandbox and away from the guilt of TPUSA or other? What's motive? I honestly think he has either been alerted or is concerned that that text message will be that conversation will be exposed in discovery. And it may be that the defense has subpoenaed records and they were like, dude, that call, they've got it. And so he just got out ahead of it. Take the sting out of it when it's dropped. And I see the haters in the chat. You must be on target. Go Max. Also asking for prayers. My grandson, he is having surgery in the morning. God bless this community. I will pray for your grandson. I hope the surgery goes well. Gosh, I hope he's not a young little feller. Actually, you texted about him the other night, or you chatted about him the other night. The haters in the chat. I noticed. I noticed that the more success the show has, the more haters show up. The more we dig into certain things they don't want to face as reality. They start to attack me or the show instead of the content. They'll pick and choose one little thing. Maybe one time we said that sounded a little off to them, and that's their whole day's content. It's very clear that there are talking points that go out to these communities, to these different creators, to these different commenters. It's like, we're fighting Candace today. Here's the talking point. She's evil. We're fighting Candace today. We're fighting Baron today. It's very clear. I'll give them some material if they call me. I'll tell them some things to attack me on. I know more about me than you do. Fort H group called SOAR. Night Stalkers use Maroon drone experts. 9/17, 1 week after Capta crash. Took for them. Tons more info, but can't send big SCs. Helicopter crash, Fort Huachuca. What'd you say, SOAR? Yeah. Oh, that was 2 weeks, but that was August 27th. Oh, that was a long time ago. I'll have to look for that. I'm not seeing it immediately. I'll look into that. That's interesting. Thank you. Bear the taillights on the Challenger in the garage and Tyler's Challenger are totally different. It's not even the same model in the exhaust, front spoiler, and taillights. I don't know that I've looked at the taillights. I did look at the exhaust. I did look at the front fender. The giveaway for me was that the one in the garage did not appear, at least from the terrible quality video footage we got, to have a license plate holder. And Tyler's did. Front license plate holder. That was the giveaway for me. Why did EK and family friends rush out of the court on day one dramatically, not to view the video, but then had her attorney demand they have an opportunity to view the enhanced video on the last day? That's a great question. Well put. Excellent point. And the video they showed wasn't even bad. Could a trained canine pick up after the human scent from a screwdriver and then trace the person's movements? If yes, why didn't they do that? I don't know. I'm not a dog expert. That seems... maybe. Hey, broski, as someone who really appreciated Charlie's perspective for years, it would be amazing to see him on the wall in place of disgraced Trump, just temporarily. We sure do miss him. Thanks for seeking truth. Thank you. I appreciate that. Back to the screwdriver. Why didn't they just, if you know he laid down on the gravel, why not run the dog to the gravel and then chase it to the side of the building and then go back to the building and pick it up? That'd be a great question. There's a lot they didn't do with the dogs. They never went under the tent that I can tell. Wasn't there a white SUV pulled over that flashed in FBI badge that day? And a lot of white SUVs rented by officials that day. That's the rumor. I've not seen the evidence of that. I've heard about it, but I didn't see a link to it. Yes to Candace. The writing sounds like someone whose English is second language. Vehicle, outfit, unseen. Yes, not an FBI agent. Someone else who doesn't speak English well. Or who speaks colonial English, meaning one of the colonial countries, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, or England itself. I'm sure when George Farmer read it, he's like, what's the problem? They sound great. It sounds exactly right. It sounds exactly like what he should say. EK insisting to show the evidence was the setup for the net sloppers to perform their stories. EK calling the ball. More bad PR. Congrats, B. Jesus Christ is king, indeed. It seemed coordinated. I'll give you that. Love the Bear Knights sharing their human dog names. Once fostered a dog at the shelter called David Schwimmer. That's unacceptable. You can't name your dog after Ross. Look up Gerard Gettings photo dogs that look like their owners. It's wild. No pun intended. Oh, it's wild. You can't name a dog David Schwimmer. Remember the white SUV pulled up the shopping center, waits, and then Tyler's car pulls out behind it and they leave together? Could that be the same car? I hope that. I think you probably wrote that before I did. I did that segment, so I'm not gonna address it because I already did that. But yes, I think it could be. Makes me wonder if video behind CK was streamed to whoever was leading the op so they could communicate to all the players. Maybe. Baron won't these details that you're showing come out at trial. Some people think the defense was lame, but it was just a preliminary. I hope so. Hope so. If not, they can brush up before trial, watch some episodes. Was there a white car like that in the ring camera before the bang when he was walking by the Congress senator house in the neighborhood? Rental car. Congress senator house. I don't even know what house you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about Phil Lyman. I don't remember if there was a white car in the there's a white car parked across the street or not. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that video. If so, good catch. I'll try to find it. I'm not finding it when I'm looking real quickly. Now all Tyler Robinson videos are from the trial. You can't find any. Before, if all you look for Tyler Robinson walking, and it was always that video. Now it doesn't come up. Good catch. They're the people who publicly claim there was clear footage in court, not feel any shame. No, they have no shame. These aren't the type of people that feel shame. Not them. Looking for my little fan remote. I don't see it. Misleading people would eat me alive watching all the way from Australia. Bless you and Candace and everyone involved in bringing the truth out. Thank you. No shame. And thank you for that compliment. The two from the first two clips were 2025 Toyota RAV4, which were also on Candace's list of sketchy rental cars. Be great if the car that stops and waits for the white car had car video cam and we could get the plate. Wish they watched your show. Oh, I don't even know they still have it. That was 10 months ago. Candace did some commentary about a white SUV early on in the Sir Hartley Kirk investigation. Have you looked at that? Christ is King indeed. I have many, many times. More times than I can shake a stick at. Let me pull something up here. Because I have another place I think there was a white SUV, but I can't remember. I don't want to say it out loud and then be wrong. Let me look here. Give me just 1 second. I'm right here. Where you at, little white car? Where you at? Where are you? Little white car. Here, white car, white car, white car. All right, let me look here. September 10. There we go. No, that's not a white car. Oh, that's September 24th. September 10. There we go. No, that doesn't look like the same car. I don't think. Yeah, no, that's a different car. But I think those are the Camrys. I'll show you what I'm looking at. This is footage from the Provo airport that week. This is the Provo airport. Remember she said there were some Toyota Camrys that had been rented? And there was a Toyota 4Runner. And then you switch to a different angle. And the Camrys are there still. Two of the Camrys are there, but not the other one. Yeah, you can't see it from that angle. So I do think those were the cars she said were rented, and they were at the airport at Duncan Aviation. If you remember her talking about that months ago. The Great Car Chase seems like a screening of Bullet starring Steve McQueen. The cars in that movie were used throughout its 8-minute car chase. I don't know what you're talking about. God bless you and yours. I appreciate that. Christ is King indeed. I know what that means. Are there any cars the same as we saw stop to talk to Tyler when he was walking around town in the morning? I can't tell if you wrote that before I did my segment, because that's what I was trying to show. Oh, you're saying when the other stuff? I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I didn't have that ready. Google claims the Google trends we discussed were artificial data fluctuations. Of course they did. No, they were not. Also looks like trend data was scrubbed. Is this just more slop? Do the trends still hold water? They do if you can use the old Google Trends tool. But yeah, they no doubt changed it. That's why we're going to go back in time and we'll do a Google Trends recap at some point, but I can't do it right now. Video when the alleged Tyler turns and looks at the white car, he has a different shoes than the gray Converse. Oh, really? Is that so? Let me see. Oh, that's tomorrow. You already have tomorrow's run open? Daisy's on the ball. Wow. Let me go back and look at which one did you say? Video when he turns and looks at I don't know which one you're talking about, turns and looks at the white car. Oh, I think that's just artificial. I think it's just the lighting. I don't think you can tell those are different shoes. But I'll look more into that when I have time. Thank you. When the canine dogs pick up the scent of the alleged explosives on campus that day, if they were near the explosives, that's the thing is every image we have, every video we have of the dogs, they were so far away from the tent that you don't know. It would have ruled it out, right? It'd been a great thing to just run them through the tent and rule it out. So do we know if it was an advanced evidence dog or a bomb dog that took out that day? If it was an evidence, no, they used every dog. If that's why I played that first radio thing. We have all dogs coming to your location. Every dog in the county is on the way. Don't forget about the white SUV speeding off and got pulled over. Driver flashed his badge and was let go with a passenger in the front seat. Yeah, I just addressed that a second ago. I've never seen a link to that. I just heard about it. I don't even remember where I heard it. Did you really just low-key throw shade at us baby boomers? I am more hip than you think might be. Oh, I no doubt you are, Kay the Patriot. I would never say that about you. I was talking about the other ones. Not you. No. Are those same cars at the airport? Transponders. White one, maybe. That's what I just looked at. I hope you're still looking. I just showed that. When Candace was talking about her dreams early on, taking her kids out of school and bees. How many bees? 2 bees, a bee and a bee, BB. Christ is king. Indeed. I don't know. Why would he drop the gun off if it was in his car as he drove off in? The same car that got impounded. I don't know what that means. I think the story is that he jumps off the roof. He stashes the gun with the intent to come back later because he has a little walk back to his car. I don't want to walk through town with a gun in his hand. That's my understanding. But I don't know. Nice trim, shorter hair, ultra focus. Edge. I did not get a haircut. What you see is what you saw yesterday. I did take an earlier shower today. Usually I'm like jumping out of the shower to run in here. And I took a shower a couple hours early today. So maybe that's what you see is just drier. Just a suggestion. I think we should refer to the guy in the stairwell parking garage and the pixel figure on the roof as Tyler. Well, that's why I said Tyler's. He's not been positively identified as Tyler. Congrats on the top 25. Thank you, Ms. Ange. I tried to solve that by saying the Tylers. It's any one of the Tylers. What were the vehicles we saw at Quick Quack? I swear there was a white SUV, but could be incorrect. Oh, I shouldn't have closed the map down. I'll look again. If I can find it. Quick Quack, coming right up. Quick Quack, Orem, Utah. Except I think there are two, and I don't remember which one it is. It's not that one. I think it's that one. Let me look at the other one. Quick Quack. Oh man, there's a bunch of them. Oh no, there's just two. No, it was that one. Is it? No, which one was it? I'm all confused now. Hold on. No, it was the first one. Hold, please. Hold, please. Here we go. Yeah, it was this one. I think it was this one. Oh, that's 24th. I was like, I don't see a white SUV. Oh, there's a white. It's not. Is that the same kind of car? Let me. Oh, there's a couple here. Let me share with you. That's a good call. Good catch. You guys are smart tonight. Not that you're not usually. Not the point. So we have a white SUV here. I can't see enough of it. We've got one here. That looks like a Tesla, actually. But we also have one over here. It looks a lot like it. Even has the black wheels. That was before this. Keep in mind, this was taken before. This isn't after. So I don't know that it's of much value. Unless they were like partying at the Quick Quack. That's not that same GMC truck, is it? GMC. Is that it? No. Does that look like it? It looks like it to me. I'll have to double check. I'm leaving that pulled up. Sure, for sure. Thank you. That was a nice little jaunt. I'll check that out. Dogs couldn't smell anything of the mountain of bull butter being pushed around. Dogs are pretty talented. There's another missing minute of UVU surveillance footage that I don't think you've covered. It's from 12:15:58 to 12:17:03. And the other parking lot roof bid, I bet they cut out video of car circling. Potentially. I don't know. Did I not catch that one? I'll go back and look. Thank you. And you guys all on the payroll. Feeding me all day. And I'm confused. You previously covered all these cars. You also saw a car stopped in empty lot near doorbell cam footage where Tyler walked down the street. You thought was suspicious. I didn't previously cover the white SUV stopping, waiting for the timing, and then driving off suspiciously at speed. No, I didn't cover that car because we didn't have that footage. In fact, it was selectively cut, I believe, so that we wouldn't see that car doing that because we would have 10 months to sit around and say, why'd that car stop? Because that's suspicious as hell. I mean, that is really bad. Also possible the white car from Zach Costello's analysis dropped off that plainclothes guy that met Officer Bagley. You're right. He could have. I hadn't thought of that either. Thought his phone's still in evidence. His lawyer needs to go get the timestamps off the text. Swipe left. Lawyer, swipe left. Get them all. Nice work, BC. Nice work, you. Baron, like I said months ago, I believe the SUV pulled up to TR to remind him to limp while walking down the street. He wasn't limping before the SUV pulled up beside him. Yeah, he wasn't, but I always attributed that to him going downhill a little bit, but, maybe. Also, the high def influencer lies were so egregious, I honestly thought it was satire or AI. They have no shame. So morally bankrupt and deeply dishonest. Agreed. On all counts. If you look at the SUV, he stopped because of a golf cart that was coming around, and you immediately see the golf cart after he ends up taking off again, coming down the sidewalk on that same side he was driving from. Pull it up one more time and look yet again. Because I don't know that I agree with you yet. But we will watch together, shall we, folks? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm being challenged. Here we have the car turning in. Let me turn the volume off again. Here we have the car turning in. Where is the golf cart? Where's the golf cart? He stopped in the middle of the road. I see no golf cart. Still waiting for a golf cart. No golf cart visible. I see no golf carting. Ixnay on the off cart gay. Where's the golf cart? I was promised there would be a golf cart. Am I looking at a different video? It must be a different video. I apologize. That's the one that is the most suspicious to me. I'll have to go back and check the others. Seems there are multiple red herrings to set up to mask the actual crime. The Fed picks the one that they thought people would buy. That's what I was saying. They had a plan A, a plan B, maybe a plan C. They had lots of different things going on depending on which plan they needed to execute. And Tyler got whatever plan he got. Both the white SUV and that small black hatchback were in the lot when Tyler jumped and when he was waiting by the stairs, not just the white SUV. Black hatchback SUV. I don't see it. I don't see it. Thank you. Baron, I love you, but I would say Candace's nails are coral. In case you haven't confirmed, as your previously self-titled Australian correspondent, I'm 99% certain Hull is an Aussie. In your humble opinion, keep going, Max. Love you more, and I am willing to accept that. He sounds Aussie-ish. I didn't hear him say mate, so I don't know. I didn't hear him say, "That's not a knife. This is a knife," and then I would have really known. Why are you relying on grainy footage? If the driver of the white SUV had a clear view of the Tyler climbing down the building, where's that witness? It's a good question. Good question. Lindsey Graham is looking up at us right now. Oh, I mean, you're probably right. But let's not talk ill of the dead. We should go back to the map. Satellite footage before the event. Look for the SUV. Oh, that's what I just did. That's what I just did. Could those SUVs possibly be related to the one Candace mentioned a while back related to the Egyptian planes? They certainly could be. They look like Toyota RAV4s. Same black-gray car that is following behind the white car in the second video also appears to be in the first video, passing by the white car going the opposite way when the blob is running across the roof. Okay. Same one going past the second car. I'm very confused. I don't remember which ones I played in what order. Oh, there's the black SUV. I see that. Is that also a RAV4? Here, you tell me. I don't know. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. Dadgum. Sorry, guys. I hit a button and it screwed everything up. I'd pull it back up. I don't let me pull this up because I want you guys to see and see if this is also a RAV4. There it goes. Is this also a RAV4? Try not to hit the wrong button this time. I can't tell if that is or not. Doesn't look like one necessarily. Is that the SUV you're talking about? Black gray SUV car falling behind the white car in the second video. Also appears to be in the first video, passing by the white car, going the opposite way when the blob is running across the roof. Okay, so now we got to go to blob running. Okay, here's the car coming in. And you're saying it's going to turn in behind it, I guess? Let's speed it ahead. So it starts moving. Because you said it's passing this car? Oh, there it is. Is that this? No, it's got different wheels, I think. I think it does. Maybe. Maybe they had two pickups planned. That really does look like it now that you mention it. Hold on, let's watch it turn all the way through. It'll be closer over on this side. Assuming we see it turn through. That speeding up down the parking lot's a dead giveaway. That's not. Oh, no, that car's red. That car's red. That wasn't black at all. Yeah, we tried, guys. We tried. We try so hard here. Curious about this side-by-side that came from the sidewalk while the blur leaped. Looked intentional. Who had authorization to operate the side-by-side that day? Yeah, I saw that as well, and it did. It was in that video we just played. I don't know. Were the 12 to 13 SUVs that were rented from the airport per the FBI, or who? Was anything else discovered about the rentals and the Israeli phones? I didn't think it was 12 or 13. I thought it was 6 total vehicles, maybe 5 or 6. I don't know who rented them. And I don't know about the Israeli phones. Plan B would explain why some men in the crowd kept repeating 2 shots to the students running away. Maybe they didn't know which plan to go with. Oh, good call. Hey, Baron, what are the chances Tyler or someone that looked like him shot a blank from the roof? This would explain the gunshot sound. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Wasn't Candace trying to find a white SUV that looked very similar to the one Candace was looking for linked to the plane? I think she was. Maybe that'll be it. 30-06 is used to hunt buffalo, too. They're huge. That poor guy. I have no idea what's up with Kalispell. Flathead Lake is popular, like Lake Tahoe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they're just vacationers. They like to vacation a lot. Hey, B, please check the 12:15:30 mark in the security footage from campus. There's a white SUV passing by when the person rolls over the wall. I'd have to go find that. I can't find that on the fly because I don't have that with me. But I will look. Now that you've mentioned it, I'll go back and find it and look. If the gun was in Tyler Robinson's pant leg, would it be covered with his DNA rather than a little bit on the trigger? That's a good call. That's a good, again, I don't know what they tested. Video on the IG 910 recorded by Erica of her and Charlie. Was removed same day. They stayed together at the dorm the night before. Can't find it anywhere. Ideas? Stayed together in a dorm the night before 9/10. I've never heard of that. Congrats on making the top 25. I said it to you privately. So why pay to say it again? So that I can say it publicly that the only reason you beat me by so much is because you're so handsome. And how's a guy supposed to compete? Congrats, stud. Well earned. That's Jesse on fire. The real Jesse on fire. Thank you. I appreciate that. I genuinely appreciate that. I saw Jesse's stuff on Spotify too. Good platform. Good platform. They've been good partners. So go check Jesse out as well. He told me he was going to stream tonight. If so, you guys should jump over there when you're done. I'll look and see if he puts up a time. A while ago, I recall someone mentioning a white RAV SUV pulled over by local PD after the bang, FBI badge, something you commented on. Yeah, I just don't remember where it came from. I do remember the discussion, but I can't remember, is it somebody said they talked to somebody or was there a story about it? I need some kind of link to pull up to look at it again because I don't remember where it came from. Baron, do you think that Charlie played both sides and told Candace one thing and AK something else? She said he was a maestro. Remember how he was careful criticizing OGA, but told TC to go Max. Love you, my B. Well, and I know Candace said she caught him lying to her once. But to believe what you just said, you'd have to believe it was an ongoing, continual, years-long lie-scapade. I made up a new word there. And I just don't believe he's like a continual two-faced liar. I just don't. Please pray for Parkersburg. Our community spent a week under the smoke of a massive chemical fire, breathing toxic air, while many of us felt information was limited and questions went unanswered. Parkersburg? What's going on in Parker? Where is Parker? A warehouse fire, I see. Interesting. Fire reported again this morning. Oh, that was 2 days ago. Well, I hope you're doing better now. I hope you're doing better now. I hope they got that thing. Ugh, that looks nasty. I just saw some pictures of it. Big, thick cloud. 25 looks good on you, sir. Explains the haircut. Got to show for the cameras. Correct. Why do you guys think I have a haircut? Oh, it's Edge again. Edge, I did not get a haircut. I might need one, but I did not get one. But thank you for the compliment. Found out yesterday my daughter's godsister gets $1,200 a month from Turning Point to keep the chapter going at her school. She opened it after the Big Bang. $1,200 a month? What? I'm taking a picture of it. That is impossible for me to. $1,200 a month? No. TR also interacts with white car after limping through parking tunnel. Walks the stairs, car pulls up, acknowledgement, goes upstairs, taps earbud, car leaves. I have to go back and look at that. I didn't catch that. Her flights might be paid by the government. She was appointed to that Air Force position to replace Charlie. No. The Board of Visitors is like an honorary position. I don't think certainly not flying around on the taxpayer dime. Doesn't that wind dude live in Las Vegas? Maybe the plane was taking him home. I mean, he does. Miriam Adelson lives in Las Vegas. I mean, she does. Hi, Baron. If only we knew someone from the FBI who would need to fly to Vegas after the flights from D.C. and Montana. Oh, wait, it's cash money. I think he's prohibited from flying on other private planes except his FBI plane. I think is the rule. I'm not sure how that works. Why'd TR go out of his way to go back into the garage when returning on foot with the rifle, waddle up the stairs in front of students and cameras just to get back on the sidewalk? Only reason I can think of is for photo shoot. That's a really good point because it's hard to climb stairs on a rifle with a rifle. Why don't you just walk around? That's a great question. Let me look at the map of UVU real quick. I tell you what, this is why they don't like this show. This is why they don't like this show. We've gotten more good tips tonight than they've gotten in 10 months. All right, let's look here. Yeah, just walk on the sidewalk. Why would you go back up the side? Wait a minute. Am I missing something here? Oh, let me get on the street view. Okay, walk through there. Got it. Yeah, why do you walk back to the parking garage? Hold on. Yeah, look with me here. This is a great point. So Tyler comes out here-ish. No, I'm sorry. He comes out up here. He walks up these stairs right here. Oh, this is a tunnel. So he walks through this tunnel here. And then he comes out. Oh, that's why. Because he came out into the garage because he used the tunnel. He'd have had to walk around. And oh, sorry. Zipping all over the place. I think he had to. If he used that tunnel, I think he has to go back up through the garage. Maybe it's not as cut and dry as we thought. But good point. Made us look. Shy, King Baron. How can you not put two and two together? She had to stop by the FBI spots to recalibrate, download her empathic, sad personalities. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I forgot. She had to recharge her batteries. Baron, my boss and I love what you all are doing for Charlie. We watch daily. What is the time difference between when the three cars were in the parking lot and when the guy was jumping off the roof? 3 cars were in the parking lot and the guy was jumping. I don't know what you're asking. I would love to answer that, but I don't know what you're asking. 3 cars were in the parking lot, guy jumping off the roof. I don't know what you're asking. If I played the video, so however long that took, that's the time difference. If it's that video, I mean, I just run it back and watch it and count. If that's what you're talking about, I don't know what 3 cars you're talking about. Ogden's a small regional airport, but it's only a few miles outside of Hill Air Force Base, a very large base. My dad and husband worked there. Ogden is a small, cool boho town. I've been to Ogden. Believe it or not. I met a guy that was potentially going to be a client. He never ended up being a client. Well, actually, he did sort of end up being a client. Not for what he was asking me about then, but later I think he hired me for a couple. And so I flew to Ogden. Actually, I flew to Salt Lake, stayed there, and then drove up to Ogden the next day and met him there in a little diner. It was nice. I don't even remember what year it was. 2020? It was COVID. Yeah, it was a COVID year, 2020. Erica's CLS speech, recent. I can take a plane to be here after all I've been through hell this week. It's not easy. Again, one more speech away. Yeah, I thought that was a kind of a bad line because her plane costs more than those kids are going to make their first 5 years out of college. I was there on 9/10 at UVU, and I have had a voicemail saved from the FBI agent asking me for any video or imaging that could help. Contacted me by my license plate, so the cameras are good enough to get mine, just not Tyler's. Go Max. Wow. Duly noted. That's a good tip there. Thank you. This was the worst op ever. They couldn't pull it off. Expose them all. Christ is king. Go Max. Don't slow down. Keep draining the swamp. They can't see how fake and gay they all come across to us normies. I think they're getting desperate too. They had a bad week. Twiggs sounds like Noam Chomsky. Okay. Like 70 years younger. Baron YouTube randomly suggested a video titled Getting Help from Uncle Sam. Baron Coleman News and Views. It was amazing. That was young, fat, alcoholic Baron. Don't watch that guy. I don't even know what year that was. That had to be 10 or 12 years ago or more. That's okay, though. It wasn't the healthiest Baron you've ever seen. I have no idea why it does that. Every now and then it pushes that video out. I think someone finds it, sends it around to a few people, so it gets a few hits, and YouTube goes, oh, people want to see this, and they start sending it to everybody's feed. Would TRs, lawyers, be working other cases at the same time? Do you think they have enough resources to find all of this? Can't envision them digging this hard. I almost assuredly believe they have other cases going at the same time. You can take an antifungal for that. I'll laugh for 5 minutes. Be right back late watching Candida. I mean, you can. You can. Lance Twiggs said he didn't hear from TR because he didn't. Because it was the feds who texted him. Oh, maybe he's intuitive. In New Zealand or Australia, when someone throws a kiss via chat, they type mwah, mwah. I've never seen an American type that. The cop has a weird British accent. I've never seen an American type that either. In fact, I didn't know what it was. I had to think about it. What the mua, mua? I had no idea what they were talking about at first. And then I was like, oh, mwah, mwah. I did not know that was a Australian thing. Maybe Detective Hull needs a little closer eyeball. Is that the car that stopped in the middle of the road? Sorry if you already covered it, saying this as I'm watching. Christ is king indeed. I did not cover it because it is not the same car. That was a Kia Soul. A good catch. Good memory. Good memory. That was months ago. Judge Graff, is there any footage, pause, of the awkward stutter, alleged shooting? Is that normal to refer to it as alleged by the judge? No. No, it's not. Blake Snaff in his ex-live conversation said, we stayed until the 11th. Who is we, I wonder? Thank you for all the work you put in, Baron. Bring joy to our day. Ave Maria. I strongly suspect Danny Phillip was one of the we, and it might have just been Danny and Blake, or there could have been a third person staying with them. Don't know who that could have been. Apologies if you've already covered this, but LT was given immunity. Immunity from what? That's a good question. Because there was no admission that I could tell in there to any crime. Now, it could be that the lawyer just wanted to be extra cautious and didn't know what all would come up or what his client would blurt out. So he just asked for transactional immunity on that statement just to be careful. But I didn't hear him admit to a crime. I don't think. Busy Montana weekend. Air Force Two in Butte. Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and U.S. Senator Adam Schiff in Big Timber, all within 1.5 hours of Bozeman. Wow. Busy Montana weekend. Where's Butte? Butte, Montana. All right, I see Butte there. Butte. Oh. Just about 20, 30 miles away from Dillon and Bozeman. Was the Veep nearby for a particular reason? Good question. And when Tyler is dressed in black, about to go on up the stairs, he steps to the left as if someone made contact with him. When he continues up, he looks back and the gray car can be seen behind him. They were watching him. I agree. They were watching. That's fine. I think those cars were related, or at least one of them. Whole thing looks highly suspicious. Then we look at things, the more we look at things, the more it don't make sense. Our humble principal knew this months ago. Yo, Blakey Neff, where were you? This whole thing is a pile of poo. Well, that rhymed. That's a good point. So fake and gay. They should have cut their losses. First one to the lawyer gets the best deal. I'm sure Trump will give y'all pardons. Give up. Trump cannot pardon people from a Utah state crime. Keep that in mind. Everything else you said is true. I've tried everything to match the letters on the burnt paper to note. Not happening. I'll drop it on your X to see if anyone else can get it. In my opinion, fake. Match it to what? I don't know what you're asking. Oh, to the note. Match the letters on the burnt paper to the note. I see what you're saying. The paper's not the same as the note. Yeah, let me know. Let me know how that turns out. I'm waiting on the edge of my seat. I've got bated breath. I super chat you on Friday. The Ben S is involved. After CO show tonight, are you more open-minded to that theory? Just started watching you and you do good work. I'm fair. Daisy's not on right now. I was going to have her correct me if I'm wrong. I'm fairly confident we covered that Ben Shapiro video Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember, honestly. I think we did. And I think I said it was suspicious as hell and that I'm rethinking his involvement. But I'd have to go back and watch the show. I say so much stuff. I was thinking that. If I didn't say it, I thought it. Good catch. And welcome to the program. Thank you. What 20-year-old has a monitor and keyboard? Don't they have laptops? A lot of the gamers like the traditional setup. Like I have a racing simulator that won't run on a laptop. You have to have a tower. I don't know if this is universal for tower or not, but it is now. It is now. 5% of the world is truly evil. 5% actively fights the evil. 90% are just sheep. Appreciate you being part of the 5% on the right side of right. Can I adjust your percentages ever so slightly? Because I think it's more like 25% is evil. I think it's more like 2 or 3% are fighting that 25%, and everybody else is complicit in the evil because they're not fighting it. Regarding stairs video, students, hi, Charlie. Love you, Charlie. Then Charlie Kirk, thank you. Just using the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay. I didn't listen to it with the audio. I should have. Why does he take 9 people up with him to the bathroom? What are they doing in there? Are they women? They're powdering their noses? You guys still powder noses? That was always a trope in the movies in the 80s and 90s. I got to go powder my nose. I've never heard a woman say that. Nor do I know if they do powder their noses, I guess. I don't know. Sorry. Have you compared the note to the lettering on the bullets? Wonder if it shows any resemblance. I didn't even try because writing with a Dremel, it's not going to be like handwriting. It's like, it's grinding. Bumping and grinding. Lance said Tyler asked for the Dremel about a month before, but didn't show in text how long he was planning it, and Tyler said a week. Couldn't they be graving bullets a month before if they planned a week before? Well, not entirely accurate. He said it was in the last month, and I did stop and make the point that that the whole show, the whole shebang, was only announced like a week and a half before it happened. So I'll give you a little credit there, and just a gentle correction on it. Got my RBP merch today. Christ is King, indeed. Long sleeve tee. black high IQ outfit women's tee and the stunning, intellectually honest, philosophically consistent tee. We'll wear them proudly. Keep going, Max. Thank you. It is stunning. If I do say so myself. Hey, B, where is the fur? They want us to believe this charade, at least make him wear the costume. That's a good point. That's what he should have asked him. Now, Mr. Twiggs, we appreciate all your testimony at this point. One last question. Tiger? Lion? Chihuahua? What are you, sir? I got to know. I'm insanely curious. No, it has nothing to do with the case. I just, man to man, or whatever you are. Man to creature. Sorry. Regarding trammel, don't let it go off in the house. Not be careful with your precious life. Yeah, don't mess up the couch. You know how much a couch costs? Baron, you're the Fed's worst nightmare. I would like to not land on their radar. Lance said, I don't know when he specifically asked me to engrave the bullets. Yes, that's correct. What's that Philly software called? Toka? Lance's testimony. I don't even think they need that. They just need some sort of like the AI software or something, you know, where they can make you sound and say whatever. We did the whole analysis, or Candace did a great job with the analysis of the different companies that do it when she did the Charlie announcement of Erica. Super easy stuff, man. And his lips did not move. And I'm telling you right now, there's a whole cottage industry of depositions and videotape depositions. These are professionals. You don't have to like screen. You don't have to like put a camera on your Zoom. Baron, at this point, what does support the Fed slot? Is there anything that does support TR with a 30-06 on the Losi Center, pulling the trigger, unaliving CK, Christ is King, and Giawa? Give it a whirl? Is that what that means? Give it a whirl? I don't know how I got that. That might not even be what it means. You sink or swim, you got to give it a whirl. Do. Life's a dance. You learn as you go. John Michael Montgomery. 1995. Well, I don't know if that's right. We're just going with it. Is there anything that does support it? So if I'm the prosecutor, I've got Lance Twiggs saying he thinks that's him. I've got a 30-06 near the scene. I have Tyler Robinson's DNA on the 30-06. I have bullet fragments that the medical examiner says came from Charlie. I've got text confessions to at least being involved, if not pulling the trigger. Voluntary surrender. The screwdriver on the roof. I mean, that's their case. And we keep hearing the same thing. That's what they've shown so far in court. If that's enough, I don't know. I think it's all, every single piece of evidence I just said, you could introduce reasonable doubt on it. This is why I don't debate people, because all they're going to do is give me that. And all I'm going to say is, yeah, but there's other people's DNA on the roof, on the screwdriver, and the officer's body cam footage died right before he found the screwdriver. So we disagree on the screwdriver. What else did you say? Oh, the DNA on the gun? Highly degraded DNA. The dogs didn't find the gun if they were looking for it. Oh, we can't prove the dog's in there. Okay, well, we disagree on that. They pulled the bullet fragment. They pulled bullet fragments from the neck. Yeah, but they pulled 7, and they only provided 4, and they're not the right size. The 30-06 is 3.308 inches, and actually, I looked. They do expand, actually, not shrink. They expand to fill the full barrel size. But actually, should be 0.308 or even above. I looked at testing of this. They can be as low as 0.307 inches and as high as 0.311 inches, I think, in testing this particular type of round. And the one they found was under, it was 0.286 to 0.301, which is not in the range. So it looks like, all we would do is they would give one piece of Fed slop evidence and I would give one piece of reasonable doubt. And then they would give a piece and I would give reasonable doubt. And that's it. That's not a debate. That's like what we do every night here, Hey, all move your mouth as little as possible so we can edit whatever we want over it. Thanks for all your work, Papa Baron. Go Max. You don't even need to tell him to not move his mouth. They can AI that. They can AI his mouth out of it so you can't read his lip to what he actually said. The 30-06 at Charlie's neck must have sounded like when you hit a gong. BS. Neck of steel. Yeah, that wouldn't be. That wouldn't be. Baron, on your podcast. Oh, thank you. You're great. So the person asking Twiggs says that he saw the note at 11 p.m. on September 10th. I thought Taylor texted him earlier about the note. No, the official story is that he texted him right at precisely at 11. He also don't really blink. I thought I saw the mouth when first came out. I thought I was seeing things. No, it's like they froze his face. It's like they froze his face. And I just think they should have jumped up and down and said, this is ludicrous. I mean, this doesn't even look like a person's talking. Judge, you can't accept this. They should have moved to strike the whole thing and said, this is nonsense. His mouth isn't even moving. Baron, your ventriloquist skills are unmatched. Laughing good tonight. Christ is king indeed. Yes. Yes. Who said that? Maybe Erica wanted to personally take the evidence to Quantico lab to test it. Yeah, that's not what I had in mind there. But Baron, the vice principal. Oh, I'm now the vice principal? No. That's a lot of power. And check out Ana Escobar's work about Google Trends image searches at Fort Huachuca concerning Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane. She's on my list of things to watch as well. I just haven't had time to do it this week with all that's been going on. But I have that bookmarked as well. I have a feeling all I'm going to be doing tomorrow is meetings and watching podcasts. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Thank you. FYI, TR's usage of the word yet in his alleged text message, he's using the word at the end of a sentence as an adverb. I'll be stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. This is uncommon usage outside of PA, Ohio, and Virginia. You know what's funny? I lived in central Pennsylvania for a year, and they did it like crazy. They said it like that. I always thought it was just a Midwestern thing. I didn't realize it was even further east than that. Mid-Atlantic, maybe you're saying? Ohio's Midwest. I heard it in Indiana a lot. People would add yet to the end. So maybe it's in Indiana as well. I didn't realize it was quite that restricted in the regionality. But yeah, when I was in Pennsylvania, everybody said yet at the end of everything. I was like, why are we adding yet to everything? What's going on here? I haven't had time to get over to get a Hachi dog yet. We don't need the yet there. Hey, Baron, do you think she may be traveling with her children? I'd like to hope so and would love to know. It's an option. I mean, do you take your kids to their dad's preliminary hearing? I don't know. I don't think I would want them in that environment. So Lance and Tyler in love live together. He didn't turn him in or call the cops. Now we're expected to believe Lance is testifying in such a way that would incriminate Tyler and is being vague. Yep. You nailed it. My B, is there a connection between the white Toyota and the rented Toyotas by the Egyptian plane guys? I hope you saw that discussion. I'm not making short of it, but we did discuss that just a little bit ago. Sir Baron, my son has a World War I Mauser. It is not chambered for 30-06. Do we even know if TR Mauser is chambered for 30-06? Sorry if I missed in previous shows. Love you thank you, for all you do. I think it is because they test fired it. I think. They had to have in order to get the rounds to test for the they got to go through the barrel in order to test the striations. So I'm almost positive they test fired it. Can't help but feel heavy about the fate of TR. Scares me to think someone could so easily be made a patsy. Thank you and Candace for all you do. God bless. We don't know how easy it is to make a patsy. We don't know what his involvement was, if any. LT says hunting/fishing trip, an interview, and then a note, it said something/something. Another coincidence? No, I don't know. Maybe. Can we talk about how LT and TR on camera so awkwardly stiff? Not how people normally appear on camera. They do not move at all. Yeah. I mean, Tyler, the only time we saw him being stiff was when he was in a black jacket or something, whatever he was wearing. Wondering if the UV location was chosen specifically for the strange right to speedy trial for the victim's family. They could push it through and simultaneously give Erica another stage to cry on. Maybe. I don't know. How did Lance feel about Charlie, Trump, politics, the left? We'll get into that this week. We have evidence of how he felt about it, and we'll get into it this week. No gaylytics. Have they asked Lance? I don't even know what that means. Have they asked Lance if he knows what a furry is, and does he identify as a furry? They didn't ask on camera. I don't know. That's why I'd have been like, come on, buddy. Elephant, what are you? Mastodon? Saber-toothed tiger? Like an aggressive furry? Why does it feel like the state of Utah is a third world country embedded inside the United States of America? It's starting to, isn't it? Starting to. Where the defense team's names in Google Trends? Christ is King. Love you. They were indeed. They were indeed. Catherine Nestor in particular in July. And our greatest ally, in quotes. I do. Yes, I said it. Safe and effective vibes from the 7K Club. Yeah, safe and effective. Wear the mask, 6 feet of social distancing. 9/11 was terrorist. We landed on the moon. Oswald killed Kennedy. Sirhan killed Kennedy, RFK. James Earl Ray killed MLK. I mean, these are all just not true things. Now, you might believe one or more of them, but I don't know anyone who believes all of them. Woman in room with Lance Twiggs was attorney at hearing. Same suit. Oh, one of the prosecutors? Makes sense. I think it's hilarious that the state made the case for the defense. Thank you, Utah prosecutors. I think Hull did when he said that the Ring doorbell camera lady said there were a bald man and 3 passengers driving. I mean, I think that helped. Candace went max today, like Kanye did on Tim Pool 2022. Didn't see that. Imagine how different things would be if CK did host Shapiro on his 9-9 show. He did. He did host him on his 9-9 show. How easy the transition would have been for them. Been as the angel of death for conservative media companies. That is all. Mr. Com, he did. He was on that 9-9. What is your favorite Teddy Roosevelt biography? It's for myself and my teen son. We homeschool. So my homeschooled was 8th grader last year. Asked me the same question. And the one I recommended for a homeschooler was River of Doubt. River of Doubt. It's about his post-presidency, though there is some discussion of his presidency laced throughout the book. But it reads like a novel. It is such an easy read. It is exciting. There's Native Americans. There's people dying. There's like not in a gruesome way, but like there's a life and death. There's Willie or won't he. There's danger. I mean, it reads like a novel, but it's a biography. It's a true story. River of Doubt. River of Doubt. You will love it. Your kid will just be fascinated with it. What if he doesn't talk about CK? Who did he say he was engraving bullets for? Oh, wait. If he doesn't talk about CK, it doesn't sound like he said he was doing it for any particular reason. Just wanted to send some messages on the hunt. All of it. Bull butter. Truth will prevail. Thank you, B. Christ is King indeed. I hope truth prevails. Regardless of what the truth is, I hope it prevails. They never ask what's your relationship to Mr. Robinson, ever. Well, they did discuss that they were dating. They started dating, but they didn't ask what the relationship was on that date. No, they didn't. Building 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, also damaged unusually. Seen in Space View. It's due. Dustified Buildings, 9/11 revisionist. Gotcha. Thank you. I will check it out. Congratulations on the Spotify charts. Trending on X about this too. Really? About what? I don't see a trend. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. The motive is the least believable part. Kirk seldom brought up gay stuff, and he supported Trump, who's openly pro-gay. YMCA is his favorite song. That might make him gay. Not only that, Charlie was actually pro-gay publicly. He did not make any bones about it. He was not into gay marriage, but he was like, love who you want. I don't care. When LT was asked if the text was on 9/10 or 9/11, did he say that Tyler didn't text anyone else on 9/10? How would LT know who Tyler texted throughout any particular day? I don't remember hearing that. I'd have to go back and look. Lance Twiggs owned an Infiniti FX35 SUV. No, it wasn't white. It was silver. Looks just like that, but silver. It was mentioned in news stories being left at the apartment when LT vanished. Yeah, and I have a picture of it. That's how I know it's silver. TR never talked about CK. When you found out he shot him, you never asked why? I'd be like, WTF, why? You never mentioned them ever? Well, I think the explanation from the prosecution would be it was explained in the note. Actually, maybe it wasn't explained in the note. Hold on. Tyler Robinson note. Will that get it? Hold, please. If you are reading this for my text, so sorry, I left the house this morning on a mission and set an auto text. Likely dead or facing a lengthy prison sentence. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I took it. I don't know if he will succeed. Yeah, he said he does talk about I wish we'd lived in a whatever, but yeah. Yeah, he never asked him why. It's a good question. That's a great catch. Great catch. The TPUSA employees who interacted with Tyler would have been better day of ID witnesses than Lance. Why are they not depositioned and presented? That's a good question. What car does Lance Twiggs drive? We just answered that. That's a good call. We just answered that. That B was in Dillon and Bozeman. We don't want her here. I'm assuming the B means blonde. That blonde was in Dillon and Bozeman. I believe so. I mean, the planes came from Washington, and it's a plane she uses, and I didn't see another plane that took her out there. So I think that's where she went. If the mic got an electrical current, would it still shatter? Thanks, Baron and Daisy, for your hard work. Jesus is Lord and King. I don't know the answer to that. I wish I did, but I don't. At 4:13, Lance says they didn't share a bedroom. That is an accurate representation of what he said. I was giving talks at my college in 03 about these squibs and other evidence of controlled demo. Commercial planes can't go that fast in atmosphere. I don't know. Are those two sentences related? Because I'm not following it. And I don't know what plane you're talking about. I'm a total loss. What that was. E.T. That looks like Latin, which is not my forte. I'll sit through a Latin mass, but I got a book. It translates to English. Remember Candace giving license plates to specific rental cars early on, or any of the cars you're speaking on? Could they be any of those? I can't remember if you guys gave models of cars along with the plate numbers, is why I asked. Yes, they were Toyota RAV4s, a Toyota 4Runner, and Toyota Camrys. And those cars we were just looking at could have been RAV4s. I don't know. I'm not an expert at cars. Maybe the guy in black was supposed to wear maroon. I don't think so. I think he was the Black Tyler. Yeah, in Black Tyler. Have these been compared to the potential operators rental cars? Yeah, we did that tonight. We did that. My phone knows where I am every minute of every day. Why all the speculation about where Tyler was? Did he have location tracking turned off? I don't know. I mean, I'm flying in the same plane you guys are in. I'm just observing maybe different stuff, but we're all getting the same info. Finally caught alive. Thank you so much for all you do, B. Christ is King indeed. Thank you for that. For just a hit and run compliment. That's polite. Thank you. Baron, how do you find out who's on government planes? We had a plane land in my hometown, Butte, Montana, and not surprisingly, no one knows who it is. Also, Bill Clinton spotted in Big Timber, Montana this week. You can do a FOIA. Do a FOIA request. Find out what plane it was, or what time it landed, or what day it was there, then ask who was on it. A lot of times they'll tell you. Unless there's some reason they can't. And they'll tell you why they can't. Baron, I can assure you, plenty of gay men enjoy hunting and fishing. I have an ex-husband to prove it. I didn't mean to laugh about that. Your expertise is otherwise spot on. Keep on trucking. I did not mean to laugh at your ex-husband. I apologize. I just wasn't expecting that. You know, it was like, good, dry humor if you meant it that way. That's how I took it. What are your thoughts on Tyler's behavior and mannerisms in court? If you're innocent and facing the same charges, wouldn't you show more emotion? Nah, not necessarily. I mean, that's just up to the individual. White SUV stopped middle street earlier video of yours? Oh, no, that's a different one. That was a Kia Soul. Can a criminal negligence case be brought against Charlie's professional security company? Their behavior is either incompetence or suspect from the planning to the transport. That would be up to what the Utah law is, and I'm not a expert in criminal law in Utah. I doubt it. Lived and dated for 2 years, yet had separate bedrooms. I know married people that have separate bedrooms. I don't think that's that unusual. I mean, we don't, but I know people who do. I think if LT says TR didn't text him because TR didn't send the love you message, they sent it for the narrative to show they were a couple. That could be a good point. He doesn't remember it because that's why it says moi moi, because it's Australian. I wasn't sure if you were an agent or not. Then I saw you on Liberty Lockdown with Buckley. Now I can sleep easy. You weren't sure if I was an agent? What did I say on Liberty Lockdown with Buckley? Whatever it was great. It was fantastic. I can assure you. Well, thank you. I'm glad to have eased your mind. Suck it daily. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. No worries if you don't get this on air. I just want to say I appreciate all you do to get this message out. Thanks to Daisy too. Much love to you all. Well, thank you. It's very kind. IB, LT face and mouth movements even look like it could be one of those masks. Does it move head, neck, etc.? Weird. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. But how do you get the voice? I don't know. I think the narrative is that the screenshots were taken on the 11th of Lance Twiggs' phone, but iMessage timestamps would say yesterday at. Not necessarily. I don't think they say. I think it depends on when they captured them. I think after like a week, they'd say the day name, don't they? I don't know. I'm working about 20 minutes from the courthouse, not trying to be mean, but they all look like this here in Utah, bro. That's not mean. Not mean. CK on stairs, going inside UVU in original video. CK says, I'm just using the restroom. I'll be right back on TT Hannah Frost, Hannah Emery 25. Thank you. Thank you. First time super chat. Want to start off with Go Hoosiers. Thank you. Never thought when I graduated from IU in 2010, we would be national champions. Thank you for all you do every week. I was there 04, 05, 06, and they were not national championship caliber football team. That was the Jerry DiNardo era and Terry Hepner. They weren't very good at all, but they've gotten better. Why did Tyler tell Lance they grabbed some crazy guy in similar clothes? Did he even know that at plain clothes what to look for? I don't know. That's a good question. How would they have known that? Maybe he was following news closely. I don't know. Hard to believe in the justice system sometimes. Yes. Did you know there are snipers on the roof during these court proceedings? I heard that. I didn't see them, but I heard that. Happy to see the dogs being covered by the big broadcasters. I covered them months ago and thought it deserved more attention. Thank you. We even cut some of the footage. We have a lot of footage of the dogs, but there's only so much you can cover. Sometimes God takes the ones we love from earth, but not our heart, and memories takes them out of pain by calling them home sooner than we want. Oh, that's kind of a beautiful way to put it. I think it's safe to say this had nothing to do with the LGBTQ PS5 HDMI LMNOP crew. I tend to agree. She also did small events and small groups on the days before she spoke Sunday. Could be the reason went Friday. Sister was there. Yeah, could be. Could be. I just don't understand why you wouldn't fly into IAD and then be right there. Why would you fly into Manassas, which is down by Quantico? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And she flew in at midnight on Friday night. So why not just fly into Washington? I believe the family and judge have put the fear of God in the jail to keep TR safe. He would have been gone by now. Pray, pray, pray. Actually, did she fly in at midnight? I might have that time wrong. I'd double check that. Actually, I think she flew in at 7 p.m. Yeah, it was 7 p.m. I think. But thank you. Thank you. Yeah, pray. No wonder the price of silver is so high. Way too many people being paid 30 pieces at a time. Thank you for the show. No biblical reference. Am I crazy for wanting to order steak at this Penguin Steakhouse? Not at all. It's actually phenomenal. I had a friend eat there recently, and he said it was phenomenal. He said it was a great steakhouse, great service, great food, friendly people, great atmosphere, beautifully decorated. You know, for what it's worth, if I'm ever in Panguitch, that's where I'm eating. Neff's job description with military and where they take place. I don't know what that means. Check Neff's job description. He hadn't worked there since 2020. I don't know that that's particularly relevant, but I mean, I'm aware of what he did. It was like wargaming with people. Are they two cars in the parking lot when Tyler jumps off the roof? The same two cars when Tyler is standing at the top of the stairs, white and dark? The white one could be. I think we've ruled the other one out because it was red. Words in the strange text exchange sound more and more like the bloke that was testifying. JS. I agree. I just flat out agree. Today's mass reading was Isaiah 1:10-7. Defend the widow. Was it really? Oh, I don't have the English, the Novus Ordo missile. I only have the Latin missile back there, the Latin missile. I have to check. Oh, I can look it up here. Oh, I got it on my phone. Was it really? Law Date. Law Date's a great app, by the way. If you guys ever want to know the daily readings. Daily readings. Hold, please. Daily readings. Yeah. Isaiah 1:10-17. You nailed it. Good call, Ed Franks. Daily mass attender, though you are. Hear the word of the Lord, princes of Sodom. That's how it started. That's how the daily reading started. Listen to the instruction of our God, people of Gomorrah. God was angry that day, my friends. Wow. You can go back and read Isaiah. I don't remember being so lit. Former 911 dispatcher here. SOP in our department, when an officer's body cam battery died, was for them to acknowledge it over the radio. The dispatcher would log it, wondering what the SOP is for Orem PD. I would be surprised if it's not the same. AB, so many Tylers running around, and the one they happen to film in the stairwell, that Spike with TPUSA is screaming sus to me. I think it's all bogus and easy to see. Christ is king indeed. Spoke. I agree. Why are these Zionists so heavy on calling people retards all the time now? When did this become acceptable? Feels so vulgar to me. It's kind of the shine has been taken off of the word. By that I mean it's not as I think people realize people weren't using it to degrade mentally different people. Like we weren't calling someone slow, retarded. That no one's rude like that. No one says that anymore. But the Zionists are overusing it to the point. It's like they think they have a cool word now, and so they use it all the time. I'm like, it only has effect if you use it sparingly. Went to Utah on a work trip a few months ago. Went to a bar and asked a few locals about Kirk. They shut the conversation down immediately and left the bar. Really? I wonder what kind of bar you were in. I call it Sodom and Orem. Oh! You must have read the daily reading today. Wasn't the white RAV4 the car the Fed guy got pulled over and let go? Christ is king indeed. That's the rumor. Did you notice that when they found the rifle, they said they cleared it and made it safe, but no one asked if the safety was on or not when they found it, or how easy hard it was to put safety on? I was a little disappointed with that, because to me, you would take pictures before you touched it, right? You would want it in the condition it was found. Pull it out. I mean, you're with professionals. You're with cops. Don't shoot anyone. Pull it out. Picture. Wrap with the towel. Picture. Turn it over. Picture. Okay, now everyone step back. We're going to clear it. And then you clear it towards the, downrange where no one's that way, towards the ground or something. I was disappointed. Wasn't there a white vehicle in the middle of the road? That was yes, Jillian. That was a Kia Soul. That was a different car. Hope you read this after, if not on the show. Now that BS said his security was on the call, then Tim Pool said his too, and now Frank Turek said Seth Dillon was on the phone too while in the car. Strategic confusion. Did Frank Turek say Seth Dillon was also on the phone with security? I don't see that. I'll have to check that. I don't know that I can accept that as fact. I've not heard that. I'll say that. I live 8 miles away from Quantico. That's a big base. You could be anywhere. I'm having Karen read flashbacks, not saying Tyler's innocent, but the case is fed slop. That I think that's becoming increasingly evident. That's why they're freaking out and attacking everybody. Candace episode 266 talks about Egyptian cars, white 2023, RAV4, black rims, black mirrors, look similar. Yeah, we'll have to go back and look. But yeah, I know that was the rental car they were talking about. Hey, B, question. I heard the plane was donated to Charlie before he passed. Is that true? Also, Anna Escobar found like 17 big players being photo searched near Fort Huachuca right before the Big Bang. I don't know that the plane was donated. I haven't heard that. Rare wake baby boomer. God bless all. I didn't mean to bang on the boomers. That was not on purpose. I had a thought tonight watching Candace when AK said it was supposed to be you. What if CK knew and sacrificed himself to protect her? Number one in Sahuarita, Arizona. You guys have fun city names there. I don't think he could have arranged to sacrifice himself. Unless, I don't know. How would Lance know that Tyler did not text anyone else 411 on the 10th? I don't know. Counsel, your Google Trends discovery for the win tonight on Escobar just dropped bombs on the case, live streamed on Stu Peters. Thank you. I'll have to check that out. I know that one thing they were reporting was wrong, but I'm not going to bang on Stu or Anna because I think they're trying to get it right. But I know that there was one picture being floated around and there was a name under it, and that was not that guy's name. It was not his job title. But that doesn't mean they're like way off. It just means there's one error. And I don't want to be like the Fed sloppers who are like, oh, you made one mistake. Everything you said is invalid. That's not logical. But I do know there was one mistake in what was being reported today on Twitter about it. So I'd have to watch carefully and double check everything. And I plan to. Please check IG message, sending email, subject urgent. I don't even have access to Instagram. I couldn't check the IG message if I wanted to. That's Nurse Casey does Instagram. The wood line is connected to the national security study. It's several houses down. It's not right there. Tyler's shadow bounces off the building wall to his left before he hits the main sidewalk. How is that possible? I don't know. I spent a long time looking. I spent like 4 hours one day looking at the shadows. So I don't recall that exactly, but I know that I looked at the shadows and I walked away feeling like they were all on the up and up, but I could double check. Aaron, please, waiting to ask you for 2 days. If a client passes on during their own trial, does privilege still exist? Or can defense lawyer or others release collected evidence? Oh, man, that's $1 million question. We had this arise in a case I was working on. The client died, and the state instantly tried to get access to everything. Died like a week before the trial, and we didn't turn it over. And they insisted that we had to, and it was a big fight. And I honestly stopped working on that case like 2 years into the fight and don't know how they resolved it. But I know it's a contested issue. I don't know if Utah has some specific rule. I mean, ultimately, privilege is a state rule. It's not a federal rule. So what's true in whatever state I was working, I think it was a New York case, but I don't remember honestly what New York or New Jersey. It was up in the Northeast somewhere. I don't remember how it was resolved, and I know that it was really contingent on the state statute about privilege, or the rule about privilege. So I think you'd have to look carefully at Utah to find out. Anyone else get an Apple News alert that Mitch McConnell passed yesterday? I saw it as I was getting offering at church and went to grab my phone, but Purse afterwards said the story was gone. And the story was gone. I did not get that Apple News alert, but I don't get Apple News alerts. What do you think ate brunch with eyebrows? AK, other TP rep, Christ is King, much love, Granddaddy from Cross Plains. Check out Thomas Drug Soda Fountain. Okay. I don't want to say my suspicion yet because I'm running down a hot lead on a plane. How can this many people be involved and not crack? It blows my mind, especially all the maroon decoy boys. Just starting the show, so you may have already discussed. No, I've not discussed that. I'll just say this. Lots of large operations involve many people that never say a word. Think of JFK. Think of RFK. The moon landing. You get a lot of 9/11. You get a lot of big operations where people never say a word. So that's not unusual to me. I'm behind on the live. I am at the white SUV. Could that be the same SUV that was at the road when he's supposedly walking? Yes, it could be. I think it's the one that turned out of the parking lot, right? Did you watch this? I don't watch psychics. No. I don't want to know about anything they said. I don't watch them. Don't mention them to me. I am way not into psychic. I know you didn't know that, so I'm not getting on to you. But woo, I don't even want to know what they think. I don't want to be tainted in any way. I think that is not my cup of tea. Just sending my support. St. Michael, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, thank you. And again, I'm not getting on to that person for sending the psychic thing, but woo, that is not my cup of tea. Like, I don't deal with psychic. When I hear those texts, it seems like Schizo Chicken Scratch Lance is obsessed with Tyler and has multiple personalities and acting out like he is Tyler. Maybe truly thinks he's Tyler. I don't know. I don't read them that way. B. Baron. Honest question from an Irish born and bred Catholic. Did CIK statement phrase when it was common before Principal tweeted it? Also, hopefully, Chucky Arla. I don't know when that phrase came into vogue. I'll have to go back and look and see if anyone was saying it before then. Could do a Google Trend search on it. That'd be a good use of it. Parking garage receipt. That's a good question. Good question. I think the text was written to have an LGBTQ effect, with the plan being Tyler taken out without the need to testify. The perfect fluffy LGBTQ story, correct? I agree with you. Maybe he used a screwdriver to remove his license plate holder. Well, that's a good one. and then fell out of his pocket. I saw a video today, credible source, stating that it has been discovered that TPUSA is trying to get rid of as much money as possible and paying chapters $1,000 per month, even using abandoned schools for them. I don't know what the credible source is. I mean, I'd have to know the credible source. And how would they know they're trying to get rid of as much money as possible? That's totally distinct. That's motive. That's intent. That's different from they're paying people. Someone might see the paying people say, "Oh, they're trying to get rid of as much money as possible." Then they go report that, and we don't know that to be true. I mean, I think you'd have to talk to someone at TPUSA that said, "This is what we're doing." Second super chat, last one didn't get read last night. Number one fan, Cleo, Michigan. There's a city in Alabama, I think it's called Clio. Do you think the jury can be rigged or bought? What about the judge? This was worded much better last night. I'm tired now. Sorry, Kayla. Do I think the jury can be bought? I think everyone could be bought at a certain price. I don't want to say everyone. A lot of people can be. I think the judge is all right, but I don't know. Thank you for continuing great shows and information. I'm doing my best out here. Thank you. Trying to figure out the Dairy Queen versus Steakhouse. Dairy Queen 6:38 p.m. Steakhouse exactly a 3-hour drive. Earliest arrival 9:38 p.m. If he eats and runs his car at 9:47, it's too fast. Owner said they were busy. I don't know where the 6:38 p.m. came from. I think that was just told verbally to Candace. I've never seen a screen grab of a security film that says 6:38 p.m. I've never seen anyone from there testify in writing or in video or anything. So I don't know. I think that might just be a mistranslation of what time it was. Moi, kiss, common flirty, use as a gamer. Oh, it's gamer and Australian. That makes sense. Video on X sounds like CK security team says rally in the bathroom and don't talk to PD, Charlie's Angels. Did they say don't talk to PD? I'm gonna play it again. I'll play it with sound this time. We'll all listen together. Hold, please. All right, I'll keep on.
Love you, Charlie.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the restaurant. I'll be right back.
You're good.
Bye, everyone.
I didn't hear it if they said it. If they said something about rallying and don't talk to PD, I didn't catch it. But if you guys heard it, I'm not going to challenge you. TR could have exited the garage on level 1 without going up the stairs after the tunnel. I believe cars go in and out of there. No need for waddling up steps. 0 searches in Google Trends for PETN in Israel the last year. Odd with their constant explosives flexing. Can't ID the law enforcement officer who left extra bullet. So here's the thing about the last. Yes, no, they can't. Or they haven't. You wouldn't Google Trends something that you already know about. Right? Like you wouldn't be like, hey, guys, I need you to build a PE-10 bomb. They go, okay, hold on. I got to Google what is PE-10. So you wouldn't Google that if you're like a scientist working on it. It makes sense to me that it wouldn't be there if they're even using it. My B, go to sleep. By the way, yes, the girlies still powder our noses. I'm almost done, Daisy. I'm trying here. 1992, John Michael Montgomery, Life's a Dance. I was off by 3 years. Here's why I said 1995. When I was in high school, there was a guy at our high school named Bubba. He's now a county commissioner up here, so we don't talk about his Bubba days. But his name was Bubba. And he had a giant truck. I don't know what it was. It was all lifted up, big wheels and all that. And on the front, it said, Life's a Dance. So I figured that had to be like a hot new song. And that would have been about 1995. That's the only reason I picked 95. Now, if Bubba's watching, it was a beautiful truck. Kind of a greenish truck, if I recall. Is it possible to do a test on the Dremel and say it was actually used to write on those bullets? Match it under a microscope. I'm not going to do that test. I'm not writing on bullets. They might go bang. Bear and I drive through Dillon, Montana all the time to get to my cabin. Nice, you got a cabin. Look at her flexing her cabin. You know who else had a cabin near there? Ted Kaczynski. I kid. I think it was actually up more towards Kalispell. 236-47 today's show, top row, left between red and blue cars. There's a person standing that moves towards the stopped white car. At 8x zoom, you can see they're walking almost as if they have a limp. Well, that's easy to check. I don't have to go back to 236-47 or whatever. I can just pull the footage back up. Here we go. You said there's a person standing that moves towards the stopped white car. So I'm going to play it right before it stops. There we go. So you're talking about that person por ahí? I think that's who you're talking about. All right, let's play it. See what happens. Oh, I got to hit mute. Hang on. There we go. That guy might have a limp, actually, now that you mention it. Let's go back a little more. See if we can find a little more of him walking. That kind of guy looks like he has a limp, doesn't he? Where'd he come from? Oh, that's too far back. Sorry. Oh, he did touch his earbud there. Oh, he signaled to that car. I missed that. I totally missed that. Watch. He's walking up the steps. He turns, looks at the car, touches ear. I missed that, Mr. Costello. Nice catch. Zach Costello's a stud. And a ginger. He doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know it. All right, now back to Limpy. All right. Is my man limping? By George? We saw it in ultra high def, 4K. Isn't that right, Officer Tatum? What a great catch. This is why they don't like this show. Real Bull Butter B. Guys talk shop to other dudes regarding their workplace. Lance should know even more, considering they were lovers. Lance should know the process for Tyler to be a master electrician, IMO. You would think. I mean, even if they just roommates, you would think they would know. Why does a lead FBI investigator with the pinstripe suit have a British accent? That's a great question. We've been dying to know. I don't know the answer. Just now joining, may have missed this, there was an interview with someone stating Charlie had gone inside first. I'll look for it. Christ is king indeed. I would love to see it because I am just taking their word that it exists. Limping guy before he jumps off roof, get in car. Actually, now that you mention it, we'll pull it back up and look and see if limping guy disappears. But he was walking like off the screen, like that way. Or that way to me. I think it might be that way to you. Let's see. All right, car stopped. Got some activity going on the roof. Guy's running. He's approaching the white triangle. He's now on the white triangle. And then he is Spider-Maning down the building. This guy's waiting. And then he tears out. And then when the guy jumps off, he turns here. No, we never see Gimpy again. He slows down just long enough to see if this guy's hurt or not, and then he takes off. I'm telling you what, guys, that is stellar. Stellar. Yeah, this side-by-side right here is kind of interesting, too, this thing. Who's running around in that thing? You think he was going to be the gun stash? They were going to put the gun in one vehicle and the person in the other? Or the weapon, whatever it was. Interesting. That's why they hate this show, because you guys are smarter than I am. And they can't stand it. You should shorten your streams, take away stickers. Just kidding. Bring on the haters. We high IQ. I was about to come unglued. I was like this close. I'm glad I kept reading. I thought, I'll show you a short stream. I may stay up all night. I'll be streaming at 4 a.m. These must be video footage of the mystery Fed with the badge and gun. Oh, there must be video footage of the mystery Fed with badge and gun who went on roof with UVU officer. Why does this person step forward to reveal himself? It's a good question. Kobe Holland, Dylan MT, professional sports shooter, Fort Benning, Georgia. You have no idea what that comment just did. No idea what that comment is. I'm taking a picture. You have no idea how relevant what you just said was. Rifle had low ID number. Do modern bullets fit older? I think it had a pre-1944 serial number. We went back and looked at that. I don't know. Kalispell is known for semiconductor manufacturing, often used in explosive detonations. Oh, is that so? Fraternal Order of the Eagles shares parking lot with the FBI in Kalispell, just sharing a parking lot with a cult-light organization, no biggie. I don't know what the Fraternal Order, I've never heard of the Fraternal Order of the Eagles. Tuning into comment portion to save video for work. Oh, welcome. Okay, it's an SBI guy with a New Zealand accent. Either way, he blows at his job. Who leaves a bullet? Wouldn't you be in trouble for leaving it? I would hope so. Don't want to leave bullets just all over town, just clearing your rifle all over the place. FYI, Blake in X space right now with Paramount Tactical. Feds flop. Wasn't part of LT's testimony without video footage because they didn't want to see face expressions or because it showed someone coaching. Christ is King, Vice Principal. Thank you. Indeed. Christ is King, indeed, not Vice Principal, indeed. I wouldn't do that. I think the defense requested those redactions, so I don't think they would have done that. Blake in crashing out, talking about Candace and you. Love RBP. Bad slop. Like Alpo. Eat it up, Baldy. Baron, G-I-A-W, stands for God is a woman. Our Father who art in heaven. Padre, Blake N talking about you on X right now, saying you stalked Erica Kirk. I didn't stalk her. It's a public record. What are you talking about? Stalking means like you went there. I've been home. I promise. How come you don't think this is a religious war? Sending love from your biggest fan in Sweden. Love C is Christ is King. I would love a member show with some Bible talk. Why did I not say it was a religious war? I think it is. I talk about the demonic element all the time. This Tyler Robinson thing is just a distraction to keep people focused on the real killers. Keep people focused on the real killers. Huh? I don't follow that. Baron just thought I know you guys just told me, saying you went to Arizona to stalk Erica at a church she attends. Also that you and Karen encourage people to stalk her. Go to a church she attends? I didn't think she was Catholic. I went to a Catholic church. I went to St. Bernadette. I did not go to stalk her. I was at a friend's hospice bedside. I was flying out on Sunday morning early and was not going to be able to make mass on Sunday. And that church was the closest church. There's no stalking there, you psycho. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. That is so defamatory. I mean, that's accusing me of a crime. That is so defamatory. I went to mass with 4 other men, 5 other men. I can't remember how many men there were. That's ludicrous. Baron Mama. BJ. Poor Benny. Thanks, Granddad. Poor unfortunate initials indeed. I did not know where we were going with the rest of that comment. I was like, hey, who's the mod? Come on, somebody get busy. How did the empty bullet case get back to the apartment when the rifle was confiscated? When did he unload the rifle? Prints on the cases. The empty bullet case they claim is a test shot. It even dremeled the word test on it just in case we were confused. Fed slop. Thank you, Baron, for your hard work and sacrifice. I do my best here. I do my best. Since they love 33, Jeremiah 33:3. Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Lord is using you to share the truth. Thanks, Baron. Yeah, apparently going to mass is a crime. That's what I'm learning. Does the maybe cow on the roof reach in to bring a weapon out of the pants? No way you can tell that. No way you can tell that. What you have is exactly what happened with the feds in the situation at the Curtis Caldwell Center in Garland. Look it up. Feds goaded those guys to commit it and could have stopped it. I did a whole opening on it. I don't need to look it up. You guys need to look it up. Go read my openings. I kid. But I did do a whole opening on the Curtis Caldwell Garland thing in Texas. Not a whole opening, but it was a big part of it. When the lawyer asked Tyler for his chewing gum, they were sitting across from each other. They were in the same room because the lawyer's about to hand him something. Oh. Why wouldn't they just done that before the camera started? Plot twist, Twiggs offs himself, leaves letter apologizing for framing him now, and they don't have to worry about the truth coming out or being obvious. That's pretty terrifying. That's actually more believable than Tyler Robinson did it. Please consider offline backup of your streams. This is all important historic record, document worthy material. Thank you for pursuing truth. I have backups of all the recordings, if that's what you're asking. I guess I could put them up somewhere else without that. You'd land in Kalispell to go to Whitefish, areas packed with retired CIA spooks and sheriffs. I've heard that. I've heard there's a big CIA presence up there. Continue. TR used yet like someone from PA, Ohio, VA, but he is not. This, along with other abnormal text content, seems manufactured off in some way. I agree. Sounds British. Charlie's Angels 47 has account has a vid from 1 day ago. Beginning of vid is black car says someone don't talk to PD. Is black car someone says something? I'll have to check it out. And I've not seen that. What kind of trouble would the prosecutors get into if he caught altering testimony, video shenanigans? Apparently none. Utah seems pretty lawless, if I'm being honest. Could LR be wearing a mask? Kind of like the general. It could be, but I don't think so. Lead FBI investigator looks like Maxine the villain. from Despicable Me 4. I've never seen it, but I'll take your word for it. Shame on him for looking like that. I swear the radio CAD doesn't match with having a suspect within the quick time frame testified to at the preliminary hearing. I'm double checking that. Thanks for your grind. Love it. P.S. Lance lied. If you find the answer, email me. Let me know. You don't spend money to send it back, but just email it. What if Tyler is forced pressured to confess to protect his parents? For sure, no death penalty. Not sure how though. Great show. Thank you. I mean, we could come up with all manner of ways in which Tyler could be forced to do this or forced to do that. But I mean, we just have to wait and see how it plays out. But I do know this. I appreciate you guys joining me. You'll notice the on-air sign is especially bright because I forgot to put my backlight on tonight. So I just noticed that when I pulled the comments down. I was like, why is it so offensively bright right there? I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. This is supposed to be a professional outfit. It won't happen again. Well, it probably will. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again, but I don't mean for it to happen. If you like the show, give it a like. Appreciate the likes. If you want to subscribe, go to the main page, hit subscribe. While you're there, there's a join option next to it. If you hit the join option, you'll become a monthly member. Get access to all the members' content. There's a lot of really good interviews, a lot of just me rambling for hours at a time. It's fun. It's fun. We'll do a member show this Friday, and you'll get an idea of just how fun it can be. Yeah, that's it. Click the notifications, turn those on. I will not be back tomorrow. My schedule is just jam-packed tomorrow. Will not be able to make it. But I will be back Wednesday night and Thursday night with a member show Friday before taking off Saturday, as we take off every Saturday. Check out the Clips channel, Baron Coleman Clips. You get little condensed versions of some of our segments, not whole shows condensed, but whole segments sometimes are condensed down into 8 to 15-minute digestible bites. They're easy to share, introduce people to the program and the content. Our editor over there is phenomenal. He does a great job. They're superbly edited. Like, I could never do what he does, ever. And he does a great job. He deserves a lot of kudos. So I appreciate you joining me. Oh. Don't forget, Jesus loves you every single day of the week, even on Sunday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, miércoles. He loves you. He loves you, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining me. And I will be back, like I said, Wednesday. I'll be back Wednesday. Have a wonderful night, everybody, and we'll talk soon.